On my end, it doesn't. Oh, there it goes. Here's my promise to all of you. If while we're going, the news comes in, we're hanging up the phones and we're starting the party. And that's the Jimmy Snow promise.
Oh my God, true. Do I fly out to Texas like that day?
we actually like rent out a whole club space or something.
We legitimately celebrate.
Close down the roads, close down the streets. Hi everybody, welcome to Calling You Now. This is a show where if you disagree with us, you can call in. Oh, there we go. Oh, and I've got my audio. Wait, now I don't know why that is. Why did I?
No, it was from me. It was from me. You're good.
Welcome to Calling You Now. If you disagree with us, you can call in. I in the lead up to the show, I was mostly silent because I was listening to a voicemail that I have to figure out how to show you at some point. This voicemail. This guy left 8 minutes worth of voicemails. I had to put them on double speed. Didn't even finish all of them. I guess a couple Thursdays ago, I think it was the Forest and I should turn the rest of my lights on. I think it was the Forest and Luxander show. This individual was very angry and very, very sure about all the things we're doing wrong and promised he was going to call in Sunday and explain to us and hopes that we're ready to hear that we need to change. And he's going to tell us how we need to change because he knows that we are actually what's wrong with, he accuses us of being MAGA. And he literally was like,
wait, what?
And you guys are MAGA because you are their mirror. And it bothers me so much. It makes me want to hurt people. I'm literally like, what
is this one of those Blue MAGA situations where he's like, you're Blue MAGA?
Well, he also went, you're not one of us. You're not Democrat. You're not liberal, as though that would have hurt our feelings. No shit.
I'm not a liberal. Oh my God.
And he was saying things in the call like, you are not going to be able to silence me. You don't get to silence me. You can't silence me. Literally, yes, we can. Like he kept saying like, and he's like, and I'm going to call in on Sunday and you are going to listen and be respectful. But at one point he was like, I'm going to call on Sunday and you are going to have a respectful conversation with me. That's an actual conversation and you are going to be serious and you're going to take it seriously. I'm not giving you my name. I will be calling in as the Chicken Man. So anyway, we're going to have a very serious conversation. That was supposed to be last Sunday. I don't know if any of the mods are here. Were there that Thursday. Apparently the person was melting down in chat, according to the voicemails. And was very upset and the moderators won't even let us disagree. It's a debate channel and you're not even allowed to debate. Yes, you are. There's one way you're allowed to debate. And now we're going to tell you all it. You pick up your phone and you dial
hilarious
3. Let me show you how on a rotary. You go 3, 3,
what
6,
the hell?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, 1.
Jimmy, why do you have a rotary phone?
I think I want to have a whole set of antique phones.
Okay.
Don't tell me for a person who's known as the guy who runs a call-in debate network that would not be dope as fucking all shit.
It reminds me of when I was young. Like this is like over 10 years ago. I worked at a radio station where I hosted radio shows. I was also an audio engineer, and like one of the cool things was we outside of the studio space, we just had a wall of like retro radio stuff.
Yeah,
it was pretty sick shit. I really wish they went out of business because public radio was dying. But I wish I had gotten to take some of that old radio shit. That would have been nice.
That would be cool. Oh, also, we are just going to say, sort of bearing the lead here, it is Easter, so I don't know that they're in their churches and shit. Justin and Matt both had their various shows today. Seems like a lot of the people are at church today. It would seem like a cope, but those shows are for Christians are bigger shows. And so, yeah, I think we may have a challenge here, but it's a little bit later in the evening. People might be getting out of church, but even one of the atheists who I messaged to see if they wanted to do the show today said they couldn't because they are at Easter with their in-laws. So even the atheists are out doing Easter shit, Well,
I mean, I think a lot of people don't celebrate Easter as a religious holiday anymore. It's strictly bunny rabbits.
Yeah, which it should be. Because honestly, like, why do you, at this point, man, I don't know how to say it.
I don't know how the egg stuff got it. I have not ever studied Easter, so I have no idea what the hiding of eggs in chocolate has to do with Jesus' resurrection. No clue.
I feel like
which he never
we
did,
need
by the way.
to. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, honestly, there's a certain point where it's been 2,000 years, guys. He wasn't really going for cigarettes. Okay, he's not coming back with the milk. All right, like at this point, it's a little bit. I'm going to be honest. If you believe in the resurrected Jesus, I want to hear out like a well-reasoned thought. I want to just not feel like, okay, let me stop jumbling this up and say it more straightforward. You can call in to explain to us why there is a good reason to believe that Jesus resurrected. Also, you can call in to explain to me why I just shouldn't think that that is offhand so silly to believe in the first place. Not,
oh my God,
not that you can prove the resurrection, but that I should be open to the possibility that a resurrection happened.
Someone is so true in my chat. They said, am I getting holiday pay for this, Jimmy? Am I getting time and a half?
Yeah.
National holiday, you know?
Sure. That's how a profit share company would work too. It's the way you can get
every holiday. Right, so, Jimmy has to take out a loan to pay his employees.
Check this out. I can turn this on the people. Hey, if you want a black person to get holiday pay and not be a racist, all you have to do is increase the amount of contributions by 50%. Because we're on a profit share model. So if you want to have him make an extra 50%, you just got to send an extra 50%. Like that's how it would work, guys. So don't be racist. Send super chats. Done.
Damn. Why don't we have our numbers on soundboards yet? Wouldn't it make life so much easier for us if we just like one day recorded? So I'm thinking both for this show and my show. And we just press a button and it does the whole spiel for us.
You don't feel like that would make us seem very lazy?
Are we all about efficiency?
Like, are they pressing a button? I don't. First of all, my brain, calorie energy wise, is more efficient than my soundboard. So the most efficient way, once it's memorized, is just to say it out loud, to recall from my own memory. It would actually use more calories for the soundboard to recall it. So efficient it is. That's right. I'm just making shit up, honestly. I mean, that's
7 Days to Die needs a zombie Jesus mod.
3 days to die. Every 3 days.
That might give me every 3 days to die.
There's one bearded dude who just comes and beats the shit out of you.
That might get me to play that game again.
It's just on the first day, you see a dude just walking off into the distance, dragging a cross. And then on the third day, he comes back and he's wielding the cross. He just beats the shit out of you with it.
But you don't actually fight that zombie. You just have to find, there's a random hill in the game has hills. So randomly you'll just see a zombie carrying across to a hill and then he just sits up there for 3 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you find him, there's like buried treasure near him.
This is a $1 billion idea. This is a $1 billion idea. You know what else is a good idea? I thought of this idea a little bit while back for a debate show where this is a really good idea, I think, guys, where you have two people and they have what is essentially a chess clock between them. And they are both allotted an amount of time. And I've been I first thought of it a couple months ago and started developing an app for this about a month ago for us to be able to use internally to then be able to have the remote clock thing. But it's basically, it's like I have 30 minutes, you have 30 minutes. How we use that 30 minutes, you have to be a bit tactical about because you don't want at the end of it to be that your opponent has 20 minutes and you've run out. And now they get the remaining 20 minutes. You got to be a little tactical. You got to be a little, anyway, I just thought this like debate plus a chess clock thing. And clearly it is a good idea because I understand 2 days ago, Jubilee launched that exact show and it's doing apparently pretty good. So that's,
I'm like scrolling through TikTok and I see the Jubilee like clip from that. And I'm like, oh my God. So I text Jimmy and I'm like, hey, remember that idea you've been spending like a couple months trying to work out and get ready to implement and launch? Jubilee just did it.
Yeah.
And people love it. Gotta say, the comments are like, wow, this is genius. I've read comments that are like, having a timer in a debate is so smart. And I'm just like,
well, timers in debates aren't new, but yeah, that chess style. kind of is. Look, guys, I feel like it's going to be so annoying for the first few episodes to have to say, like, for the record, I did not steal this. When Darwin was writing the evolution book, on the origin of species, who was the other guy who was doing the exact same thing, literally at the same time? But Darwin got it first, got his stuff out first and more famous. So, and Jubilee,
I mean, it's like Bug's Life and ants, you know?
Yeah. Sometimes you have the same idea at the same time, and right. And
I can
the
confirm,
Simpsons probably did it before all of
as
us.
somebody who has seen the work Jimmy's done on the show, that because Jubilee, like, this was brand new. Like, nobody knew Jubilee was making this. Yeah. Jimmy 100% has been working on this idea for at least 2 months that I've known about it
with us. Yeah.
And that was like a month ago.
Yeah.
So
there is a new show premiering in the middle of the month. The Devangelicals did get delayed. There was some unexpected things. So the Devangelicals, that's going to be the Saturday show on the line that got delayed. But yeah, we've got other debate things coming too. And that's one of them. But The Simpsons did technically do that debate style before everybody else, I assume. All right. Anyway, you can call us 336-543-2101, 336-543-2101. What did you say?
I said I'm rewatching The Simpsons right now, like from start to finish.
I do that often as my fall asleep show. Though there's a few shows now where I skip the first season or two when I start over.
My favorite episode of The Simpsons is in season 1. So like I get past that and then it's just like, oh man, now what?
I feel like seasons 3 through 6 are their gold era. What's your favorite? What was the first season one that you do like?
Try to guess.
Oh, yeah,
sorry,
by the way.
Sorry, not season 1. It's season 2. It's season 2.
The nice thing about our version is we won't platform an actual fucking Nazi when we put on the very first.
Fuck her, bro.
That fucking lady.
Did you see? But I don't know if you saw it because you don't keep up with Jubilee.
Dean's a liberal.
She didn't want to do it. The reason she didn't want to do it, she tried to back out. But it came out that Jubilee had Jubilee was like, if you don't do it, we're going to fine you because you signed a contract. So she had to do it, which is why she clearly does not give a shit when she's there.
It's not like she didn't want to do it because she is like, doesn't want to represent her Nazi self, though.
No, she didn't want to do it because she knows she was going to get fucking embarrassed.
Yeah.
She's talked to Dean multiple times, which is why I'm also like, what's the point of the two of them have spoken at least twice already? What's the point of this?
What's the point of having Dean represent the left? That guy's got a couple of years of development to grow up into actual leftism, guys.
I don't mind Dean as like somebody debating Trump. Like, I actually think when it comes to the Trump stuff, he does fairly well on that. And I do think he embarrassed the shit out of Emily like multiple times. I'm just like, again, if you've watched them talk before, you've watched this conversation. They just retreaded the same ground they've already retread before.
To me, it's like celebrating when Fox News finds a dumb liberal to argue, like a blue-haired person to be all the caricature that they want them to be and everything. I'm just like, it's not that impressive to beat some of those people. And Dean, to me, is somebody I worry about as
really,
to be very clear. I'm not saying like, because he's not, I think he is a threat to leftist progress to the progress of leftism, because liberals are very good at going, oh my God, we want all the things you do. Oh my God, we do. Here's the stepping stone. We're going to get us a stepping stone toward universal health care. Okay. We're going to put in Obamacare. And then once we've got that foundation, of course, we're going to be able to go to the next thing. Instead, what happens is Obamacare goes in and then the lobbies just start eroding away at it. And then decades go by. It hasn't gotten better. It's actively gotten worse. And so like people like Dean seems like a sweet boy and everything else. He's probably a good dude. I'd probably enjoy his company and stuff. But Dean represents to me that. Dean is the Obamacare level debater of like, I'm going to half measure what I can get, but not have a robust system in place to basically make it that the decades to come won't be building on top of what I put into place, but in fact eroding at it. And that's liberal. That's literally liberalism.
Like I said, I don't have much of an issue as far as like his skills at like debating. Like I think he's competent at debating. I do think he spends a lot of time on the Trump is a rapist thing, which like we know. Like I would love
that would be my smallest criticism.
And I'm not the biggest fan of the way he runs his like streams.
That's my thing. When you say he's a good debater, the man clearly lets people who are pretending to be MAGA stay on the line. If we did that, we'd have him on right now.
I don't even have an issue with that because I'll entertain trolls sometimes. My issue is he'll stop in the middle of a conversation to like thank donations and super chats and tips and stuff, and I'm like, just do it in between calls. Like
I won't entertain a troll that I know is a troll as though they're in good faith. I might fuck with a troll, but I'm not going to. A person who's calling it, clearly liberals call his show pretending to be MAGA, and he just like kind of takes. I think that's why he has more of the conspiracy. It wasn't until him and a few people in his zone sort of came up on the air that people started asking whether or not we pay people to call in, because they started the whole like conspiracy of these callers seem so bad that this feels like an op.
I pay everybody. Every single call I get, the thousands of calls, I pay each of them $500.
Wait, so
that's how much.
Guy wrote,
that's how
love you,
rich
Jimmy,
I am.
but you're not the only person that can speak for the left. I don't have evidence to declare that Dean is on the left, let alone speak for the left. And left has to mean something. I'm not
Dean
saying like
he doesn't
exactly.
He likes capitalism.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm like, you're saying okay, you can say I agree. You know who else I'm not terribly fond of? I'm more okay with him than Dean. Is Hassan. There's a lot of issues I have with Hassan and Hassan's content. And yet I'm glad Hassan exists, which is not a popular take. I'm glad Hassan exists. I'm glad Hassan's doing what he's doing, but I would change Hassan's messaging a lot. And I would make sure he was much more competent on debating certain social issues that don't affect him as directly. So he is put on the back burner, despite the fact that he needs to have them more on the front a lot of times. But I like Hassan, and I'm fine with Hassan speaking for parts of the left because Hassan's on the left. So if you want to say like aren't the only one to speak for the left, I don't believe that about myself anyway. I don't even think I'm the loudest voice. I don't think I'm the most respected voice. I think I am a voice that speaks on the left. Dean isn't on the left. But people are mistaking him, like you, Blue Guy, mistook him for on the left.
My favorite debater didn't start leaning left until like the moment he died.
Dislikes Hassan would be not a very good representation of what I just said. I would say I have a nuanced take on Hassan, and I would change his messaging if I was in charge. It would then probably become less successful because he is better at popular messaging than I am.
We are Charlie Kirk. You guys are lucky you got a show at all today. Me and Jimmy both in the pre-show, like when we were just chatting, we're just like, we don't want to be here.
Yeah, we're both sick in different ways right now. We're both at half power, so this is the time to call in. MAGA 336-543-2101. If you believe, we kind of went off on a whole thing there. If you believe that Jesus resurrected, let's see what our poll's doing so far. It says 6% of you do believe Jesus resurrected. There's a few of you in live chat right now. Even if you don't think you can prove he resurrected, prove why I should be open to the idea. Or share why you think you should be open to the idea, or I should be open to the idea, because I legitimately find it funny. What do you think about Vosh? Vosh and I have done stuff before. I think he's a very capable debater and stuff. Probably the same thing. I'd probably have notes of ways I would change, but far be it from me to be like, their messaging isn't perfect. It is more successful. Vosh is more popular than I am.
He's used the N-word too recently for me.
Has he?
I don't like, he's used the N-word while he's claimed to be on the left.
Oh, I didn't know about any of that. What happened with that?
I can forgive a white person who used the N-word when they're on the right and is like, I realize now that was bad. It's a different thing when you're on the left and you be dropping
Remember when
N-bombs.
Sargon thought he was going to get away with it because he was saying a racist who hated N-words sounded like an N-word. He was like, but in that context, I'm going to go run for office and get a milkshake thrown at me now.
I'm going to be honest. I'm not chronically online enough to know who that is.
Oh, it wouldn't require, it'd be kind of like the fact that you know who like Tim Pool is today, it would have been that equivalent if you had just been a YouTuber 6 years ago.
Yeah.
He was in the conversations at that point.
I like how somebody in my YouTube chat said, "You guys on the left preach tolerance." I've never preached tolerance. I don't know what you're talking about.
You are describing. Definitely call in and explain that to us. 336-543-2101. All right, we should actually try and start getting some calls. A couple super chats as we get going, though. One-eyed atheist says, Jovan, not sure how old you are talking when you mean old radio, but if you're interested in the radio shows of old, there are many free recordings of them on the tubes. Old SF is best. Have fun. Narcissa 800 says, one of my all-time favorite TV scenes is from Vikings. Floki swinging his axe, causing casually as Ragnar's crew had just finished up fucking up a Christian monastery. Ah, so sweet. You know, the church scene from The Kingsman's pretty good.
Oh, the church scene from The Kingsman bangs.
Yeah. Freebird. Just Wrench said, I couldn't do $15, so I rounded up to 20 for reparations to the black man. I am getting a piece of that, guy. Sorry. I'm getting a piece of the reparations. Really Neurodivergent says, thanks for all everyone does. Love the shows. The White Guar says, the trolls are too scared to call in. Here's $5 despite them. To Ronan 666, Jimmy to Hassan on your left. I think I'm left of Hassan.
I think they're making a Avengers reference.
To know. Yeah. No, I know, but I think that's supposed to be the joke, is that I would pull Hassan further left than I'll tell you what.
That's pretty left.
I don't know where we are. We might be in roughly the same zone. I will tell you there are things that I very much appreciate Hassan for. Hassan's anti-Zionism walked so ours could fly. You know what I mean? Like as far as a person to actually break down, granted, I very shortly talking about right before October 7th, there's a clip of me from like September or August, right before, talking about the genocide that was happening in Gaza then from the perspective of it's already an apartheid state. It's already low key. That was right before, but that I also hadn't talked much about it before then, because it was only in the years, probably a couple of years leading up, that I even considered to think about it, to think about Israel and what Israel was doing.
I saw a post on Threads, because, you know, Threads, the place where conservative bots go to jerk each other off. And it's just like, remember, if October 7th happened, there'd be no dead Palestinians. I'm like, you guys are fucking idiots. Should we count the thousands that were dead well before October 7th, you fucking morons?
Olivia says, just to piss Jimmy off, also to support you guys in any way I can. It does not piss me off when you super chat. I promise. Even though that you get the extra special label.
It pisses Jimmy off so much when you guys send super chats. So send as many of them as humanly possible.
She's referring to pisses him off. How I had to ask her to stop buying people memberships, because there's like a weird thing where her currency is not evaluated correctly. Like the conversion rate isn't followed. Olivia's. And so she just sent 5,000 ARS, which I've already forgotten which. Is it Argentinian? Anyway, she can buy like 50 memberships for $3 American.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So it was like, I love that you want that shout out and people to be like, hell yeah, that's technically a revenue stream for us. And so you're potentially, for $3, when that's about what the memberships cost, you're basically eliminating the possibility of 50 people buying those memberships. And I think she just thinks I don't want her to support it at all. But I don't know, Olivia, I like you. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you've stayed. I'm glad you didn't take it personally when I was like, please stop buying memberships. Jesus Christ.
I like how someone in your chat asked if my father knows I'm homosexual. That's hilarious.
If your father knows you're homosexual, or if my father knows I'm homosexual?
Mine.
Oh, I don't know if my dad knows that I'm bisexual. We're not close. We don't talk anymore. So it's a whole thing. Anyway, I'm waiting for the Chicken Man to call. Chicken Man, you said you were promising a call. You were going to tell us how to do it right.
Chicken Man,
we do have a call coming in.
Hot dog and bologna.
We'll get Luthien on that. I don't know. Luthien's going to screen, but I'm waiting to hear from. I won't be giving you a name except the Chicken Man. Literally, like, nicknames are fine, guys, but the Chicken Man.
You don't want to play us the voicemail?
I don't remember whether he shared any doxing information. I can't remember if he was like, call me back at blah, 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 blah. Also, I don't have it conveniently set up to do that. Anyway, I want to know, do y'all think that Jesus resurrected? If you do, call in and tell me why at 336-543-2101 on today, Easter. Acknowledging that the people we want to call in are probably at Easter right now. They're out doing Easter. What other gods?
All the more reason to call in. You have to defend your God on the day of his resurrection. Otherwise, you're going to hell.
Yeah. To the person in chat, no, we don't have people call in with a topic they want to monologue about. Generally, we're wanting, especially on this channel, to be at minimum, have some level of challenge, some level of debate. Atheist is spelled E before I. Stop listening to the nursery rhyme. I before E except after C. And when sounding like A as in neighbor and way. But also in the word atheist, the E becomes before the I. You are the most atheist. That's how you might remember it. Like, wait, that doesn't work because fastest is EST. Ism. It's an ism. Atheism is an ISM. So atheist is an IST. The I does not become before the E. Just so people know.
The GABA comes before the Google, guys.
And then the Google with the GABAs.
The GABA comes before the Google.
Oh, is that just a general question call that was calling in?
Yeah.
MAGA Christians, this is your opportunity. We'd love to talk to you. We want to know. I don't believe in God. I don't believe in Jesus. I don't believe that Jesus, the man, resurrected.
Wait. Let's stop acting like we're going to get any more MAGA calls for the rest of this presidency. Dude, they have given the fuck up.
I at this point, the best thing Trump could do for MAGA is die, because they could rally around somebody else. Like they could, or at least some contingency of. But right now, it is so discouraging to be MAGA, and they're open about it. I mean, there's now actual, like, you can track big declines in funding or like donations, big declines in public sentiment, the way they're willing to go and speak. Like Twitter is depressed at this point, guys, because it is hard to be MAGA right now.
Well,
what do you have left?
You gotta remember, they like, it's driving me crazy how much the ones that are still there are just lying about shit.
Yeah.
Like just blatantly lying. I mean, fucking, did you see we finally hit 100, and I think it was 111 a barrel?
That doesn't surprise me at all. All-time highs.
Finally ticked to 3 digits.
What's the average gas price in the U.S. right now?
It's like $3.75.
Yeah, guys, I
the nation average.
So here's the MAGA challenge. I know I want to talk to Christians too, but here's the MAGA challenge. MAGA, you call in and explain to us what there is still to hold on to. Why would you, if the election was happening tomorrow, why would you still vote for Trump, even over Kamala Harris or whoever you think is coming next? Because we got months of, okay, things might not be perfect, but gas is low and we have no new wars. And that was basically what, and granted, we were saying, and that's not going to last, but that was basically all you guys had. So what's left?
No new wars. He's a president of peace. No new wars.
Immigration was going great, a little bit undermined by the fact that they basically they fired Kristi Noem, and then the new guy's first reaction was, okay, we got to get out of Minnesota.
But Jimmy, as per Trump, there were zero undocumented immigrants who came into the country in 2025. So you know what? Apparently we're doing amazing.
We're just doing
Trump
great.
said it's zero.
We're doing
That's
so
the
good
shit.
right now.
How is it that Trump can tell y'all there's zero immigrants coming in and you believe him? I'll never understand that. I would love to experience the planet. Like, I want to experience reality being that stupid. It has to be a treat.
What do you think the current average gas per gallon price is in the U.S. right now?
I thought it would be like $3.75, is it not?
Bro, $4.11.
$4.11's the average now?
We blasted past $3.75.
I wonder cut out like New York and California, what it would be. Because they're just gonna they're gonna make the outliers.
That's because of
really
those gay states, the ones that pay for my welfare that I'm on. Let's see.
States.
If you removed New York, granted, California's big, and so there are parts of California, like the average that's getting pulled up, I think, is mostly in the big city areas. But
I know I've seen prices hit almost $9 in New York.
What is I don't know if it's easy to find this average cost of a gallon of gas. By the way, I'm not opposed to states that need to incentivize people to use gasoline less, raising the cost of gas for travel and stuff. It only removes it. It says using the AAA state averages and excluding New York and California, average price goes down to $4.05.
Okay.
For early 2026, April 2026. So yeah, it's literally only shaved 6 cents off. Those national averages may also be based on more nuanced things than we're just going to ignore the gas station that's right next to the Hertz rental car place that adds $2 a gallon or whatever.
It's when you look, I remember I also raised my desk up a little bit because I was tired of leaning down, so let me know if I lost way too much headroom. But when you're looking at the average income in the US is I think it's 60,000 right now. But when you remove the top 1,000 earners, it drops to 30 to 40,000.
Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and talk to Sam.
This is a you call.
Sam, pronouns they, them, in Georgia, is calling in because Sam takes umbrage with my take on spirituality. Before we get started, Sam, do you believe that Jesus Christ resurrected?
No.
All right, a bummer. I really want to talk to one of these resurrector guys. Show me your resurrections, guys. Get on. Send me your unsolicited resurrection pics. All right, Sam. We'll see if that calls for anybody. Look for the number. It's up there, 326-543-2101. Don't forget to hit like on the stream because that will increase the number of potential people coming in, watching, and then potential new callers. All right, Sam, go ahead. Give me your position, and we'll go from there.
Well, I had called before and you said you would debate me on the spirituality because I still hold on to my spiritual beliefs that I obtained growing up in my childhood.
And what would you summarize those as? Are they Christian? Are they a different, what type of spiritual, if you had to categorize them, what would you say they are?
A mix in between Christianity and Islam.
Okay, so some sort of Abrahamic spirituality.
Mm-hmm.
And when you say that you're still holding to it, do you mean you're studying it or you accept some element of it as true?
I practice the gathering, I guess a rich. Well, I haven't studied this topic, so forgive me if I'm wrong, but how people would say about where cultural Jews, where they go ahead and practice rituals and do daily things, but they don't hold literal beliefs in the Torah.
Okay, so when you're saying spirituality, you're not actually describing, it sounds like spirituality. You're just saying you cosplay your traditions, but you don't even believe they're true.
Wow, I guess that's a good way of looking at it.
Then you don't believe they're true. If you don't believe it's true, then it's not. Spirituality to me would be you engaging with something you're calling a spirit, that we have an ethereal presence separate from our physical self, and you are in some way nurturing or interacting with that non-physical, literal spirit. And so if you're saying bruh, if I took naps on Sundays and didn't go to work, I could say that's because I'm a cultural Mormon. But I don't have to it doesn't mean I have to believe in Mormonism to be like, yeah, I grew up, Sunday was the day of rest, so I'm just holding on to that. I don't believe in Mormonism. So is there some spiritual element to it that you actually believe and you accept that it's okay to believe, basically based on faith, or if it's better evidence, I'll take that too?
Man, I guess it would be more of like belief based upon spite because just like learning the history of how a certain political leader had outlawed this religion because it related to a certain tribe of people, and just like, well, I already grew up with it. I still like engaging with it and singing the songs, and I still feel the fervor. So I don't know, maybe the way you put it is I'm cosplaying.
Do you believe any of it's true?
No.
Do you believe you have a spirit separate from your body?
I'm not sure.
Do you believe you have a ghost?
Oh, like belief on that, like it goes back and forth, like if there's actual spirits or if just the if Yahweh is real, like the belief on that goes back and forth. But as for like the books, beliefs based upon the books, like Noah's Ark, like the belief on that is like solid in the know.
The question was, do you believe you have a ghost?
Oh, I'm sorry. I tried to answer it the best I could.
It just kind of went a lot of places. Could you just say yes or no then?
Wavering belief on yes and no, depending on when you ask me.
Okay, what about today, right now?
Yeah.
You do right now believe you have a ghost?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that the ghost that's pulling in and out the USB thing that is causing your computer to make those beeping sounds, or are you doing that?
No, I think that was me, actually.
Never mind. It was Jovan. Sorry, I threw you under the bus. All right, Sam. Well, we can talk about why you believe in those ghosts, but the first thing, before we do, I want to finish up with a note that you gave the call screener. You're saying that holding on to my spirituality is good because it brings me closer to my ancestors. So a few things. One, I don't think you're holding on to a spirituality. I think you're holding on to a sort of description of a spirituality. Like you're saying, a tradition without a belief in it. I didn't hold on to my Mormonism as a belief in Mormonism, but my previous belief in Mormonism certainly still influences my life today. I'm sure I'm always going to be deconstructing from something I picked up as a kid. But even so, there are other like minor traditions. Like I have a sense, as I brought it up earlier, but a lot of people I think will be able to recognize this. I have a sense of Sunday. Who just played a goat sound?
That must have been.
Was that you? You're not. Your mic's not active. Just like the animal sounds you're doing is.
No. I don't know why none of that should be coming through.
They're playing like crazy when you talk.
I hear birds.
Can we just kill all of that, please? Ending my life.
I should have fixed it. It should be fixed.
There we go. Okay. So I have a sense of Sunday. When it's Sunday, I feel like it's Sunday. And if it feels like it's not Sunday, I'll even observe like weird how it doesn't feel like Sunday today. And that's something that I grew up with Mormonism. But I'm not holding on to my spirituality in a literal way. I'm just still a person who is a product of my experiences. So you're not holding on in a spiritual way. When you say it brings you closer to your ancestors, I would challenge you and say that no, it doesn't. Not in any meaningful way anyway. Because that sort of describes if I'm doing an activity to be closer to my girlfriend, in theory, that's bringing us closer to each other. Dead people can't be brought closer to anybody. They're dead. So you can get a more, like you can say in a very metaphorical way, I feel closer to them in that I think I more understand what their life was like than I did before. I feel a sort of very metaphorical closeness, but you aren't literally close. They're dead. They're gone. There's no afterlife. There's no reason to believe there's an afterlife. They're dead. So the closeness that you're experiencing is purely one-sided and is out of an abundance of interest. And it's cool that you have that interest. I don't care to feel more about like, oh, how can I relate more to my ancestors? Some of them are fucking monsters. We'll skip that part. And so There's no real spirituality here. If you like, we can talk about why you believe in ghosts, but what you're describing right now
Jimmy,
has nothing to do with spirituality.
am I overthinking that like language brings you closer to people? Because like,
of course,
how I said, the songs.
Yeah, I feel closer to my girlfriend because we've had 1,000 conversations. So of course language brings you closer to people, but not to dead people. Talking to a dead person doesn't bring you closer, not in any real way.
I mean, keeping the language alive, where like versus like people just wouldn't speak it in this country, like.
That's not a question of closeness. Like, that's a question of like posterity and history, because we find it to be useful to humans to maintain our history and understand our history. And we find gaps in our history terribly upsetting. And then we get conspiracy theorists who think that the Sphinx was built by aliens.
Well, no, I'm not saying the Sphinx was built by aliens. I'm going to say I'm going to continue with their religion and speaking their language, because there's a lot of people who hate the fact, the existence of that tribe and wish that all knowledge of that tribe would be wiped away, that no one spoke that language.
Right. I don't have to feel that way just because I don't feel an attachment to even maintaining the language. I could tell you I don't care whether or not 1,000 years from now anyone even remembers let's say a single phrase of English. It doesn't bother me whether or not that is true or false for whatever the reason is that English would disappear. But that doesn't mean I then therefore support a person whose desire is to murder anybody who is continuing to speak English, right? These are different concepts. So you're kind of two quo-quaying here a little bit. No, it's not really a two wrongs don't make a right thing.
But am I not right for doing that, though?
No one cares if you do that, dude. Sam, no, you're not right, but you're not wrong either. If you want to maintain and fucking like document the history of your people and your family, you're welcome to do that. If you want to pick up pickleball, whatever hobbies you want to fucking have, man, do it. And I'm probably going to do pickleball more than I do genealogy.
Okay. Well, you gave me a very good critique for me to go ahead and think about and like really think to myself, like, am I cosplaying simply because, I love, my ancestors, or am I actually doing something real? Or I don't know. I think I'm doing something honorable to go ahead and.
Hey, Sam. If you were just a regular cosplayer, I would support you cosplaying. So it's not a problem if it turns out I'm cosplaying this because I feel an attachment to. That's usually what cosplay is. People cosplay as superheroes that they feel an attachment to. So even if it is something that's more metaphorically closer to cosplaying, that's enough reason to do it if you like doing it. I'm saying that doesn't mean you're holding on to spirituality unless you're you're getting it to a point where you're acknowledging it's true. Where your hobby might become problematic is if you then start financially supporting, like if I'm studying the history of Scientology and now I'm buying a bunch of stuff from Scientology, from their church and shit, and I'm financially supporting them, that's where it can show up as being problematic, but not before that.
So you'll say go to Wikipedia.
Sure. I don't know if that's ran by Scientologists, though. I haven't checked. I doubt it.
Okay. Well, thank you for taking my call.
Do you want to get into why you believe in ghosts, or you're not ready for that today?
I think I know why I believe in ghosts, but.
Drop it on us. Jovan, I've never asked you, do you believe in ghosts?
No.
That would have been very surprising if so, but weirdly, there's a lot of skeptics who think ghosts are like the exception.
I want someone to challenge me to sleep in a haunted house and then they give me millions of dollars because I promise you I'm going to be rich.
Yeah, well, unless it's like the things like that have happened before is they've just turned out to be rigged. The place is rigged to appear haunted. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't fall for it.
The ghost lady comes out and stabs you, but it turns out it's just Deborah.
Oh, well, I mean, like, yeah, if someone's going to murder me, well, that's a whole different ballgame.
I think if there's millions of dollars on the line, you should be open to the idea someone's going to murder you. Anyway, Sam, why do you believe in ghosts?
I'm going to say no, that those were just dreams and that I shouldn't believe in ghosts.
Sure.
I think that's what you would tell me. Yeah.
I won't even tell you for sure that I know ghosts don't exist. I think that ghosts, the history of ghosts, the actual simplest explanation is that humans invented them. But you know, there's no good reason to believe they do exist, and there's pretty good reason to believe that we came up with them to feel a false sense of closeness to our ancestors, as well as explain wind and shit like that.
No matter how realistic the dream, no matter how consistent or how many dreams there were.
Yeah, no matter how real they are. I've never actually had that orgy, dude. And I've had some real orgy dreams.
Man, if you had that dream, like, okay, let's go with your joke. Let's say if you had that dream, like, every day for, like, months or nights, right? Because that's when you dream at night, for months. And it was, like, continuing, like a very good written television show. Like, I think you might let yourself be fooled into thinking, like, no, these are actual spirits that I'm interacting with when I go to sleep. Rather than
I would just think that I'm really smart.
I would say you might let yourself be fooled that way. Let is a strong word to be used there. I think that that's probably why there are people. That's an example of a story that have allowed people to be fooled that way. And people with curious and skeptical minds then go research and go, is this the most reasonable explanation?
If it's just a one-off dream, like, yeah, like, I could see how you, oh, no, that's just a dream.
Bro,
like,
I have a dream that I have recurring. I've probably had it hundreds of times since I was like 6 years old.
And that didn't make you believe at all that it was something real that you was interacting with?
No, because I'm basically stuck in like one of those, when you're a kid, they have those like play areas where you go and you build, and then basically I end up on a slide that turns out to be like never ending. So I'm not really worried about a never-ending slide.
When I was a kid, I used to have a recurring dream that some guy would take a garbage bag full of glass and beat me with it in my front yard, like at night. And I was probably just afraid to be out at night as a kid, right? So my brain kept reinterpreting that fear and giving me the same recurring dream.
When I was a teenager, I used to go abduct this kid from his bed and I'd beat him with a bag full of glass in his front yard, and he was so tired he thought he was just dreaming. It's crazy. Also,
this was Jimmy's original hate crime, by the way.
There we go. Yeah, the optics of what that story was not good at all.
The kid's name, Emmett Till.
Oh, fuck. I have a lot of recurring dreams, honestly, Sam. And by the way, I'm also a person who suffers from sleep paralysis occasionally, and I suffer from it a lot more kind of like late teenager to early adulthood. And those are very consistent. And there's a good reason why they feel very real, because you are awake in a way, but you're still dreaming. And so it's a dream happening in the physical space you are seeing around you. And yet we actually know that those aren't ghosts. That's your brain. And you are both awake and dreaming at the same time.
Wait, what? You both awake and dreaming at the same time?
You've never heard of sleep paralysis?
You never heard of a daydream?
Well, those are different. Daydreaming is just when you're just being kind of imaginary, right?
Yeah, a daydream is just like when you very quickly start dreaming in the middle of the day.
I'm talking about sleep paralysis. Yep. Sleep paralysis is when you've woke up, but your brain is still, I think it's REM, basically. Some part of your brain is still in REM. And so the parts of your brain, when you sleep, the reason you don't move while you're actively sleeping, you do between certain stages, is because parts of your brain shut off. So you wake up, but you can kind of open your eyes, and that's usually pretty much it. You can't move the rest of your body, and a dream may occur around you. So I always had one of two. It was a man who I was aware was coming down the stairs, and then when he comes around the corner, he's holding a rope, and it seems like he's going to hang me. And then often I have pretty much the cliche one of the shadowy person at the end of your bed with red eyes who's watching you sleep. They're not demons. Literally, like, this is a common experience people have, and we know that it's sleep paralysis, and we know what your brain's doing when it does it. So the question isn't like, is there a good reason why you would be easily fooled, as your own words were, would fool you into it? Easily fooled, for sure, Sam. I think I think it's reasonable in the culture that you were raised in, when you were facing those types of dreams, that you ended up fooled. I think that makes sense to me. And now you are a person who has had enough interactions and seen enough of the world to go, I should take everything with a grain of salt and investigate. And you should be taking that going and going, look, I probably was fooled before. What's the better natural explanation?
Well, my dreams weren't nearly as ridiculous as yours, but you mentioned sleep paralysis, and yeah, I don't know how that didn't make you think demons was real. I'm gonna have to look.
I did. That. I was Mormon at the time. At first I did think demons were real. Now I know they're not. I legitimately first thought those were monsters, essentially, but I don't anymore. And I still have sleep paralysis. It probably now happens like once a year. Actually, I don't think it's happened since I've moved to my current place, but it happened a couple times at my old one. I know it's not now. Even when it's happening, at some point, my brain, it kind of helps me wake up out of it faster. In fact, at some point, I recognize that I'm in the pattern I'm used to, and that kind of breaks me out, and I'm able to move. Though the first way I usually move is kicking my right leg and letting out a sound that no man should hear themselves ever make. Because at first, usually, it's like trying to kick the demon, and so it's something like, oh! It's dumb.
Okay. Well, I think I just need to reflect on this, and just maybe just, I don't know, if you could tell yourself that wasn't demons, I need to tell myself that, yeah, I'm not actually interacting with anything.
Sam, if demons existed, wouldn't people be dying more from what was clearly demons?
What do you mean? This world is terrible.
But and do we need demons for it, or are humans bad enough as they are?
It will make sense that demons are real in this world, how terrible it is. Like,
why? Humans are garbage. Humans are terrible without the need for demons. Why do we need demons on top of it?
It would make me think better of humanity.
That's wishful thinking. That's literally called wishful thinking.
The fact that we're just continuing on life after playing peekaboo with the Epstein files. Yeah.
Didn't take any demons. It took rich people in power whose interests were best served by continuing to conceal them. By the way, humans invented the idea of demons. Like, that's how shitty we are. There aren't demons, but we did come up with them. Our imaginations create the monsters. All right, Sam, we're going to probably wrap it up there. If you got a final point, we'll let you go.
I was going to say, I think I won the first debate because Jovan went on to make videos about Oracle and about how they're working with like buying from TikTok. And like, yeah, there is going to be the spy network that we're going to have. Oracle, Block.
I think you're trying to talk about Palantir.
Well, that would be another group. But I was saying in the first call I ever had that we don't need more gun restrictions because we have so many spy networks. And Oracle is one of them that had name and Flock. I had learned about Palantir later, so that's why I couldn't name them. But you saw the Super Bowl commercials talking about finding your lost dog. Like, we have the spy network with Ring Camera.
Okay.
This took a strange turn. I think, Sam, you're very attached to that first call in a way that you can just pick up that conversation and remember what that conversation is, Sam, I won't be able to do that with our call by the end of this show, because that's not how we don't hold on to these calls. So I think what you need to do is call in another day about your surveillance thing you want to do. You're going to have to repose what your position is. I'd let go of whatever you think the past positions were communicated to you were, because very rarely do we trust a person to tell us what our positions were, especially if they don't resonate, and start again. But let's do that another day. All right, Sam?
No problem. Thank you.
Cool. See ya.
Goodbye.
You got a preference where we go next?
Line
5,
yeah. I mean, I guess let's take the new call first.
Cool.
None of them seem particularly,
Nick in Illinois, pronouns he, him, as a theist, calling in to talk about the entities in this world that are non-human. Nick, you are on the line with Jimmy and Jovan. How are you?
Not good. How are you guys doing?
Just peachy. Happy Easter if you celebrate such a thing.
Yes and no, yeah. You guys do.
Happy Passover, if that annoys you.
No. Nothing really annoys me when it comes to religion and any of that type of stuff. I was baptized Catholic when I was a kid. Had to go to Catholic Mass growing up. I got away from the church when, late teens, early 20s, and recently just started kind of looking back at the scripture a little bit. But that's a whole, everybody has their own, philosophies on that. My whole thing on that is it shouldn't matter. Like, this whole people, getting mad of, oh, you're a Christian, you're a Catholic, you're Jewish, you're this and that. It doesn't matter. Like to me, it shouldn't matter who I don't go to church. I haven't walked into a church for a mass in
this is all great, but
20 years.
But we're going long and totally off topic here. So we'll pop back in on the topic. We are talking about, it sounds like then you're not so deep in organized religion, but you do believe in a sort of spirit realm, a supernatural realm with entities. You told the screener, entities in the world that you can't see or aren't there. So how do you know
that you can't see that, but they are there?
Oh,
and
rather.
I've done amateur, yeah. And I've done amateur ghost hunting, just real amateur, stuff like that. I've gone on numerous, you go on vacation, you go on the ghost tours, and you go on all that stuff. And reviewing the findings that I myself have found on that, I have to disagree with you guys and say that there are demons. There's I don't want to say demons. I want to say spirits. There's good entities and there's bad entities that are in this world.
I disagree. So what is your best proof that's true?
My best proof is I went on vacation one time with my ex, my recently ex. Well, that's a whole other thing. We're not going to get into that. But and I keep a locket of my mom. When my mom passed, my dad got us all a heart locket that keeps her some of her ashes in it. Well, I always had it in my car. Unbeknownst to me, my ex had taken it from my car, put it into her car because we took her car on vacation. Well, we went on a ghost tour. And I don't know if you ever heard of the dowsing rods. The rods that you sit.
Yes, I'm very familiar with dowsing rods. Yep.
Yeah. So I was on a ghost tour, and nobody else wanted to step up, so I stepped up and I was doing this. My mother talked to me. So if there's not spirits watching over us, or
what do you mean? What do you mean by your mother talked to you? Like,
was it through the dowsing rods?
So through the dowsing rods, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Nick, how much have you looked into? Nick, real quick, how much have you looked into? Hang on. How much have you looked into secular scientific explanations for why people believe dowsing rods conversations are real and legitimately exist?
Yes, I'm not going to tell you I've done a lot of research on it, but I have, researched it. Like, okay, what else could there have been, electric magnets or the EMP, stuff like that would be pulling these things in the directions that they were pulling it. So
could you summon her again? Could you grab dowsing rods and summon your mother again with them?
I couldn't tell you if I could or not. Honestly,
let's say you had your mother present. Let's say you had your mother present, and we could go behind a wall. You and your mother are in there with a dowsing rod, and I could go behind a wall. She's not restricted by walls. Could I write something on a piece of paper and she would tell you what I've written on the paper from behind the wall?
I don't believe that they interact like that so much.
That's very convenient, Nick. That it sounds like what you're saying is, hang on. It sounds like what you're saying, Nick, is that anything we could do to confirm that you're actually having that experience and that you don't realize you're controlling those dowsing rods, that there wouldn't be a way to test because the ghosts wouldn't cooperate. So on my end, I have secular explanations for what happened to you with science backing.
Okay.
That invoke no ghosts.
Let me finish.
I will let you finish in a moment. I will let you finish in a moment. I'm going to finish my sentence first. Hang on, Nick. I'm going to finish my sentence first.
My bad.
I have secular explanations for what happened to you, and you have an anecdote that I can't test. So on my end, the person evaluating your claim, it is far more reasonable to say the secular, non-ghost required explanation is much more reasonable than the untestable anecdote. In fact, even a secular explanation of you're just lying to me would be more reasonable. And that's only one of the candidate explanations.
Well, I mean, I would be more than happy to try this experiment again, because when I asked my mother, I was with the chick for 8-9 years at this time. So, by that time,
I think I know what might have gone wrong.
It was with broad.
They don't love being called the chick, I think. But go on.
There's a whole that went south for a whole other reason. But yeah, yeah, no. So, but I was asking questions that nobody would have known the answers to other than my mother. I asked her things that was said on. Well, and me, yeah.
Right.
But my hands didn't move.
And you were the one holding. You were the one holding. Well, but have you? Yeah. I'm sorry. There literally is. You've seen the things that happen with Ouija boards, right? Where your body subconsciously moves like minuscule amounts that you don't notice.
I have heard of that. I messed with a Ouija board one time in my life, and I've never messed with one again. So,
I used to sleep with a Ouija board at my head. It was totally fine.
And dowsing, by the way, Nick, you didn't get complicated answers. Dowsing rods get you yes or no's or either or answers, right?
Yeah.
So what is the example of the dowsing rod thing that you want us to go? Oh my God!
I had a conversation when I was, I'm sorry, didn't mean to swear. 8-9 years old, just me and my mother. Nobody else knew this conversation had ever happened. Nobody else knew what was the context of it, especially the people I was with at the time. And so I went into that conversation and asked, "Was this said? Was this said? Did you say this? Did you do this?" And
okay. And the rods that you were holding moved to confirm in the correct points.
Yes or no, yes.
Right.
So
that Nick, hang on. If your story, and you had documented it especially, but if your story was, I had my girlfriend hold the rods and she didn't know the details of these things, and yet it got the questions 100% correct, there'd still be potentially secular explanations, like your girlfriend subconsciously can tell what answer you're expecting. You don't even realize you're giving it up. In fact, this is basically what's been proven to be happening behind people who think they have a telepathic autistic child. That's part of actually that explanation, because it did look kind of crazy at first, and then it turns out they just don't realize their brains are working differently in what they're picking up on. But even then, I would be like, you know what? Much more compelling story.
Okay.
You were holding the rods and you know the answers, and you aren't apparently aware that dowsing rods respond to your subconscious, that you don't think you're moving them, but you are in fact moving them. If we put you in an MRI or whatever the right scanner is for that, we would see your brain causing the motor changes in your body in response. You getting the answers to the questions that you know are not at all impressive.
Well, the energy going through when the rods did move, I felt energy going through. It wasn't just my muscle. I mean, I'm a blue collar worker. Warehouse.
Hey, Nick, what runs through what runs through your muscles to cause them to contract?
Well, I understand that, but it wasn't anything. It wasn't.
Yes, it was. It was. You were in a state of hypersensitivity to it. Nick, you were in a state of hypersensitivity to it because you were looking for it, because you were in an experience where you were expecting.
I didn't even know.
Nick, we have to work on this interrupting thing, man. You are in a state of receptive to ghosts. So you're expecting to feel ghosts. Breezes now feel different. You feel like you're having a spiritual experience. People who have spiritual experiences that are incompatible with what you're describing as happening and yet getting confirmations of truth that they think are true over there are also feeling these ways, but you both can't be right at the same time. So Nick, what I'm telling you is there are perfectly secular reasons to explain even this was supposed to be your best evidence, and your best evidence was essentially you used a dowsing rod. You were holding the dowsing rod, and it answered the questions that you knew the answers to correctly.
No, and I agree. Okay, I see your side of the fence on that one. But then again, like I said, I have done amateur, the EVPs and stuff like that. I have gone into buildings that, things that I worked at a bar in Northern Illinois for 9 years that was haunted. So we brought the ghost hunters in. I stayed with them. There's things happen that you can't explain. So
how do you know? Wait, Nick. How do you know I can't? Nick, let me finish. You made a claim. First of all, Nick, only I let you finish. It's my show. But you made a claim, and I don't let people make claims about me and my position and then just blow past them. So, Nick, to be very clear, you don't know that I can't explain them, except for you know that I wasn't there to investigate. Had I been there, we might be having a totally different conversation of here's all the ways that people get fooled into thinking that this place is haunted. So all I can't explain is your anecdote's recollection of an event. And even then, we're not even positive there since I did explain your first thing.
Do you believe in aura? No, you did, but you didn't.
What is aura?
The aura, the energy that people give off. People's energy.
Anything that we can measure with an actual instrument, yes, for sure. We all have an electromagnetic field surrounding us that is non-conscious, and it is simply matter has that shit. We also give off gravity. We all have our own gravitational field.
Yes, which is part of that. But so you believe in auras and you believe in that, but you don't believe.
No, almost certainly whatever you're saying aura is, I'm guessing I don't believe in. But I believe in the things we can measure, like our electromagnetic field, our gravity field.
Yeah, and like when I meet somebody for the first time, I can feel their energy. I know you're like, oh no, you can't, no, you can't, no, you can't. Yes, maybe it's because I worked in maybe I did restaurants for 8 restaurants and bars for 18 years. A lot of people interaction, a lot of customer service. So maybe that's where that's coming. I'll give you that. Maybe that's. So
Nick, what you're telling me is, if I were to set up a wall between you,
no, I'm saying face to face. Like when I meet somebody face to face, shake your hand. I can walk up to you, shake your hand, and I will feel. Like I don't want to say exactly how you're feeling or what you're going to. Like what your mindset is, but I'll be able to tell if you're in a good mood, bad mood. Just, you could be stone cold, whatever. And I can tell you within the first 5 minutes of speaking with you.
So, since you said that you can do that, because everybody can do that to some degree, you're adding 5 minutes of speaking. Yes, we all pick up on social cues. I'm autistic, and 5 minutes of speech would still be more than enough to figure out if a person's in a bad mood. Nick, this is only impressive. Nick, hang on. This is only impressive if I can put a hole in a wall and put a person's hand through it, and you can hold that hand and accurately tell me whether the expression on that person's face or what they're reporting is joy, anger, fear. Otherwise, what you described isn't aura. You said you can talk to a person for 5 minutes and shake their hand, and you'll know what mood they're in. That's what mood they're in. Nick, you got to work on this. You got to stop talking over me, Nick. Nick, you got to stop.
Well, then you got to let me finish, bud.
Nick, you can't say you got to let me finish when it's you constantly interrupting me. I interrupted you when you made a claim about me earlier and tried to blow past it. And if you're saying you're only going to stop interrupting me if I'm playing by your rules, then we'll just move on from the call, dude, because you don't set the rules of this show. So I'm going to ask you once again.
I'm trying to explain myself.
I don't think you are trying. I don't think you are trying to be respectful.
Okay.
So I think you're trying to get your words out, Nick, and I think that that's the most important thing to you. So, Nick, what you described is basic human Nick, what you described is basic human function. We have some amount of that sense. Some animals have senses of it that are heightened to ours. Okay, Nick's gone. Literally, I'm like, so are dogs magic too? Because there are dogs who seem to be able to pick up on stuff we're not broadcasting out loud. It's just a terribly, terribly silly, like, well, that's not aura. That's not aura. Well, what you described was talking to a person and shaking their hand. Nothing that we could test. I can't, literally, if aura is real and you can feel just an aura is present, I'd be able to put up a wall and you would be with 100% accuracy able to tell me when a person is behind that wall and when a person isn't behind that wall, when there's a person physically on the other side of that wall or not. And every time people have tried to do versions of this test, they've always failed. Nobody has succeeded at that test. And yet they'll be like, did you ever see, I think it was James Randi, but it could have been somebody else. The one where people were like, I actually see auras and that they have different colors. And so basically they put 5 people behind like kind of like doors, like numbered spots, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She got to basically log what color each of their aura was. And then she's blindfolded or turned away or whatever. And all they're asked to do is switch places, move around. And all she has to tell them is where the people have moved to, from which spot to which spot. And she got it wrong. But she was positive. I even think she believed it herself that she could see auras.
Well, they're always positive, right? Well, except for, I like that one. You ever see that one where it's the guy who, he swears he can like, you can use energy to stop like whatever force, so he runs full speed into this woman who's supposed to be using that like energy and just plows through her. Jesus. Dude, it's one of the funniest videos I've ever seen on the internet. I'm gonna have to look that up.
All right, you pick the next one. I'll shut up. That one annoyed.
I mean, most of them are about spirituality, which I just don't care about.
Obviously, line 6 is directed at me, so we can do I'm excited for that one though, when we do get there.
I mean, let's try line 3. Let's see what that is. Dude, I'm fucking dying. Holy shit. All right.
Do you want me to introduce and then pass it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jeffrey in Pennsylvania, pronouns he, him. Jeffrey in Pennsylvania, you are on the line with Jimmy and Jovan. Jeffrey, real quick, how old are you? What happened? We lost Jeffrey?
It doesn't even show me that you took it.
Oh, Jeffrey. I thought you clicked it. My bad. Okay, sorry. Jeffrey in Pennsylvania. I messed it up. Somebody else dropped. 2
completely different calls. Yeah. Okay.
No, I think Thomas dropped. Thomas, do call back. We were excited for your call. But Jeffrey in Pennsylvania. Jeffrey is a theist. You are on the line with Jimmy and Jovan. Jeffrey, how old are you? Jeffrey, can you hear me?
Papa, can you hear me?
Jeffrey, Pennsylvania. You there, bud? Wake up your phone.
Lose all the calls today.
Jeffrey. Thomas, call back right now. You'll get on. if we're trying to give Jovan a call, because we're probably going to put Jeffrey back in the queue. Jeffrey, if you can hear us, but you just can't, we can't hear you, hang up like in 5 seconds and then just call right back. If you can hear us, but you're just not connecting, just hang up and call right back. Go ahead. Do that now. So Jeffrey isn't doing that now. So I actually think it's that Jeffrey can't hear us. Don't know what's going on. All right. We'll return Jeffrey to a queue. We'll try Jeffrey again in a little bit. In the meantime, if you have beliefs in God, you have belief in the resurrected Jesus, you believe in ghosts, you believe in spirituality, you believe that Donald Trump is a good president, we would love to talk to you about any of those things, especially, I mean, if any MAGA is actually brave enough to defend Donald Trump these days. I get it why you wouldn't be, but we'll talk to you. We'll hear you out if you think you've got good reasons. All right, let's try
MAGA having good reasons.
Let's talk to Brian in Florida. Brian in Florida, you're on the line with Jimmy and Jovan. How are you, Brian?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you, Jimmy, on this beautiful Easter Sunday?
Beautiful Easter Sunday. It's really nice in Texas right now. Yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right. All right. Well, you're calling in to tell me what the remedy to my sleep paralysis would be.
Not necessarily, but I think you could possibly benefit from praying about it.
No,
and,
yeah, I think you're incorrect, and I have good reason to believe why. But do you want to finish your thought on why you think that is?
Sure. I mean, if you believe in the scientific method, I would imagine you probably haven't run through a study of your own. Which, I mean, you're the best subject to actually know what's what. So if you actually prayed about it and said, you know, I pray that and I'll pray for you right now, Jesus, Lord Jesus, Jim.
No, thanks, Brian. Go ahead. Just skip to the point, Brian. Let's Brian, skip the prayers. Let's just do the Brian, skip the prayers.
There's no way.
We're having a conversation. I did not.
Get rid of that sleep paralysis. I know he doesn't
There's
want
no
it.
way.
Okay, Brian, I'm now muting you. You can finish your prayer while you're on mute. The conversation is between you and I. We're not bringing your imaginary friend into it. That's extremely rude. Your prayer wasn't requested. So, Brian, since you're doing it to me, I'm going to do it to you. Hail Satan full of dicks. Please bless Brian with all of the dicks he could ever get. Okay, hail Satan. Satan be with you. Satan prayed. See how it's rude to pray on behalf of somebody who hasn't requested it? Because I'm guessing you're not loving. Now, I don't care because I know Satan doesn't exist. But I'm guessing you're not loving now. There's a Satan prayer out there for you. Satan, please follow this guy Brian around. So now can we proceed just talking to each other, or are you going to rudely pull in some bullshit prayers? You're now unmuted.
I think you should try, I mean, as a science project, give it a shot.
Okay, great. Brian, I already have. In fact, I have in two ways, and I'm going to tell you that. When my sleep paralysis started, I was a believer. At one point, I was a believer in Mormonism, and at one point, just Christianity. During all of those times, I prayed fervently and still had very significant sleep paralysis issues very often. If you were listening to the call earlier, you would have also heard that actually nowadays I have it very rarely. And by the way, the reason appears to be, one, prayer doesn't affect it at all because I stopped praying and it's gone down, but I don't attribute it to that means prayer was making it worse. In fact, I attribute it to the fact that I started actually getting my mental health stuff treated, at one point treating sleep apnea when that was necessary, as well as doing other things to try and give myself as healthy of sleep as possible, since sleep paralysis happens specifically during REM. So Brian, all of the things that you just described, I can say I've already done, because at the time of my life when I had it the most, I was a believer praying, and now I have it the least as I focused on mental health and sleep health. But additionally, Brian, one of the reasons why I believed for a long time that prayer existed was because for years I have health issues that are in my gut. And when I'm having attacks of this health issue, the amount of pain that happens sort of in the lower part of the gut is extremely excessive. And there would be points where I would get to, this pain is so much, I can't handle more of this pain. And because I remembered the verse in the Bible where God says he will not give you more than you can handle, I would literally call on God and I would say to God, hey man, I can't handle more than this. You promised that you'd never give me more than I can handle. This is my limit. And usually within 1 to 2 minutes from that prayer, the pain would subside. And I think if I told you that story, Brian, 10 years, how far apart am I from it? 15 years ago when it would have still been compelling to me, right at the end, 20 years ago when it would have definitely still been compelling to me, you would be like, boom, proof prayer exists. Well, Brian, turns out that actually if you do follow through, you find out there are other explanations. Because it turns out actually that pain I am experiencing is the final stage of the attacks. And it turns out, and has now been confirmed, that actually whether I pray or not, when I hit that peak, I am essentially somewhere between 1 and 4 minutes away from the pain subsiding and the attack being over. But because I was taught to pray in that moment, I attributed it, it's called confirmation bias, to the prayer succeeding. So not only if you're saying I should do a personal experiment and rely on the anecdotal results of that, have I done it? I have done an experiment directed specifically at prayer where I thought prayer for sure worked, and even confirmed that I can, when I hit that pain level, I can call on any God. I can call on a genie. I can call on the great atheismo. I have literally confirmed that calling out for anybody does it, or calling out for nobody at all. And when it comes to sleep paralysis, the less I have prayed in life, the less sleep paralysis I've had. So how's that do with your theory there, bud?
Well, I think there's certain power in it. And I think if, and I'm not a doctor, I don't really know doctors, but I'm kind of humbly looking at this saying, well, I've heard that there is power in prayer, and it's the power of belief. And if there's a two-part, if it has utility, I think that's, one reason to do it, even if you don't necessarily believe it all the way. I think even if you believe it just enough, I think the act of vocalizing things that you need in your life is helpful.
But that's not wait, Brian, God. Exactly. So that's all I'm interested in is whether God exists. Why? And so if it has nothing to do with God, if the explanation potentially has nothing to do with God, then we can give a secular version of the practice. And it probably is true. It will probably comfort a person to vocalize their anxieties. In fact, we know it actually is a very good anxiety exercise to vocalize to another person, to say, when I'm really anxious and I'm hanging out with Jovan, man, I'm feeling really anxious right now. We already know that those elements have completely natural reasons why they work. Right. So my concern isn't whether or not something like prayer has a utility. It's what is the reason that utility exists. And if that utility exists and can be explained for secular reason, I don't care to lie to people and tell them that it's a God doing it when it isn't. I think people should have those exercises anchored in truth, not in dogma, not in mythology, not in Christianity.
Like, do you want, funny. And it's kind of an interesting question. Like, do you want the truth or do you want to be happy? It's like a Dr. Phil line.
I want the truth.
Do you want to be right or do you want to be happy?
No, right and happy is different. I want the truth.
What a waste. What a waste of happiness.
No, it isn't. What? No, it isn't, Brian.
In your world,
because Brian,
that's so dumb.
Brian, the reason why what you just said is so dumb is you're only thinking about yourself. I want to live in truth because I believe that not only does truth set you free, it sets your friends and family free. You're sitting there, Brian, and trying to talk down to us. You, first of all, don't even know if you're happier than we are. You're just going to assert that you are, but you can't know that. No, but let's say you are, Brian. Let's say you are happier than us, and that has to do with your religion. Your religious beliefs, and I see here you are MAGA, so I think I can make this case without even having to go like could be, are making other people's lives worse. And so if I care about the truth and spreading the truth, it's actually a better foundation for everybody. Whereas you have a dogma, which is causing you to vote against the interest of other people for not believing the way you believe. Because a lot of your vote as a MAGA person is only justified if your religion is true. And even then that's spotty because Jesus would not he would meet MAGA and say, you never knew me. But I digress on that point.
I think you should give it a shot on this Easter Sunday. Give it a prayer, and if you never get sleep terrors,
Brian, I've already done plenty of prayers my whole life.
You know what I would rather do on Easter Sunday? I would rather open up an invitation to any demon that has ever existed to fully enter my body right now, right here, in front of everybody as a witness. If there are demons, they have 100% consent from me to enter my body.
And sing Fly Me to the Moon.
Damn.
Who wants to live forever? It was a different song. There's no demons.
I think that's pretty definitive proof of no demons. That's all I'm going to say.
Brian, I want you to be happy living in the truth, and I want you to stop ruining other people's lives by spreading a truth that isn't making you actually happy and is hurting other people.
Whose life have I ruined?
With your votes? With MAGA? A lot of people's. You're literally continuing to help The impoverished class have access to less security, less resources. You supported the expanded war efforts in Gaza.
Yeah, you ruined the life of literally every single family member of a service member that's died in Iran so far. You've helped ruin their lives.
And as a non-religious person, not MAGA, not Christian, I actually think that those people in Iran, like those children in that school died, that their lives matter as much as yours. And that the cost of Donald Trump's hissy fit is not worth their lives, that those humans are as tragic to lose as it would be for any of your family members, your kids to die. I think if you have kids, Brian, it would be as tragic for them to die as those little girls in that school in Iran that died.
Would Jesus support the war in Iran?
I agree.
You don't vote like you agree.
Yeah. I have.
You don't have enough information to know if Jesus would support the war in Iran?
Which wars did Jesus support?
I don't know.
What about when he was alive?
So really what he said when he said turn the other cheek, he really meant blow them bastards up, right?
I wonder what he meant by that, turn the other cheek. That means like slap me
on
one side, slap me on the other side, right?
Ain't no way. This ain't a real call. Why'd you waste our time?
It is a real call.
Why did you waste our time?
I'm not wasting your time.
Absolutely a waste of time. You just asked what did turn the other cheek mean. It's such a waste of time.
No, I mean like, because it could mean one of two things. It could mean like you slap me on one side of the cheek, you slap me on the other.
I don't give a shit.
Or it could mean like you just
I don't care.
Like you turn away from something, like you ignore it. It could mean two different things. Like you put your nose up at something, turn the other cheek. Like
actually, it could mean three things. The third thing it meant was right. Blowing up schools filled with children. That was the third thing Jesus said to do.
No one wants to do that.
Damn, tell that to all those kids that are not fucking here anymore.
Can you name a single war Jesus supported when he was alive?
I have no idea.
How did Jesus feel about the fact that people were expecting like the Jewish Messiah to essentially be a military power and to overthrow, basically be the head of an uprising against Rome?
What do I think about what now?
No. What did he think of that? That there were people expecting him to be the militant leader of the Roman the uprising against the Romans.
You know, I think he knew he was sent from God to deliver a message, and that message
was part of that message anti-war.
Was resurrected. What's that?
Was part of the message he was sent from God to deliver anti-war?
Probably.
Yeah. You think Jesus rides with MAGA?
I don't know.
Do you think Jesus is more like Donald Trump or Bernie Sanders as a person, as a character? Do you think Jesus would recognize Trump or Sanders as more like one of his people?
I think they're both like equidistant.
You do? Wild.
I do.
Sometimes I listen to Bernie talk and I'm like, is he plagiarizing the Sermon on the Mount right now? So that's crazy, man. I think Bernie might actually plagiarize Jesus.
Yeah, I liked Bernie. I think he got done dirty by the Democrats there.
And so now you voted it for genocides against people, both foreign and domestic, to get back at him?
How's that?
You voted for Trump.
How is Trump doing a genocide domestically?
Concentration camps.
International.
Concentration camps for immigrants. Not to mention against trans people. Not to mention against trans people.
Really,
I think I'm being perfectly fair.
That's not a genocide.
Yes,
They're not like a species. They're just people with a mental condition.
So what you're saying is Jews were a different. It was a genocide in the Holocaust because Jews are a different species than other people.
No, because
you just said it's not a genocide. They're not a different species.
No.
What's the definition of a genocide?
Oh, you're not listening. The Germans viewed the Jews as like a different species.
Kind of like Trump says that illegal immigrants are vermin, which would indicate a different species, poisoning the blood of our country. That's out of Trump's mouth. So once again, what is the definition of genocide?
There's like echoes of Hitler in there, but you can't. That's not fair to attribute that to him.
What's the definition of a genocide?
Genocide?
Yeah.
I don't know. You tell me. You've got the definition. You're ready. Let's go.
Violent acts committed with the intent to destroy. I thought you wanted to hear it, but you kept talking. Violent acts committed with the intent to destroy in whole or in part, which is an important part of the definition, in whole or in part, a national, ethnic, racial, or religious group.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's not specific to one nation. It's not specific. It's not saying anything about race. It's about a law, our law.
Oh, so to be clear, the Holocaust was only a genocide of the Jews, or was it also a genocide of the black Germans that were put in concentration camps, and a genocide of the queer people who were put in concentration camps, and the trans people that were put in concentration camps? This might be news to you. I know your side doesn't think trans people started existing until a couple of years ago. Or the specific types of Christians that weren't accepted. All of those people, all of the other groups, were they a part of the genocide, or was it only the, half of the people that Hitler killed in concentration camps that were Jews? Were those the only people genocided?
I think they were all a part of the same national effort.
Nationalist effort, one might even say.
Yeah, but we all know who it was directed towards. I mean, let's be real. Like, some people got caught up in the fray, but
you're muted, Jovan.
That's not what this was about.
I'm sorry. You think that you think that the other groups were caught up in the genocide, but that it was a purely Jewish genocide? How old are you, Brian?
I would never say purely.
How old are you?
39.
Blows my fucking mind to speak this confidently about things that, like, my guy, there are going to be Republicans who watch this clip that are going to be like, how do I contact Brian and ask him to never speak for us ever again? That was rough. That was because I'm not sitting here thinking you're representing the best of MAGA and like I'm defeating MAGA. Truly, I'm defeating just Brian right now, just by letting you speak and expose how little you know about both genocide and now World War II and what Hitler did.
Well, I think, I'm approaching the conversation in good faith, and you're not. And I think that's evident to the people who vote the way that I vote. And I think you are dunking on me according to the people who vote the way that you vote. And that's kind of what's interesting about the dynamic.
It's interesting how often people think that the difference between good faith and bad faith is the person with the clearly much more historically and intellectually superior position is engaging in bad faith, because by simply exposing and highlighting how poor Brian's arguments here have been, without mincing words and just going directly at it, that's what's bad faith about it.
Well, you said that you did a scientific study, but you didn't do a scientific study because a couple times is not, you should actually do a real, if you believe in the scientific method.
Excuse me, you were the one who said it would be a scientific study for me to do a one-off. And I very much cased that on purpose with, according to your standard, I've done these studies. There's no such thing as a scientific study of one person. That was your suggestion. And by the way, the Bible doesn't say you need to do it amongst a big group of people and choose the majority. It says, if any of ye lack wisdom, let him ask of God, who giveth to all men liberally. Not that he's only going to give it up to some, and then so you need to check, and if the majority of the group are getting that experience, detect that something is happening there. God promises to give it to everyone. So it is in fact the God standard of proof that is non-scientific and promises ubiquity, as God promises spiritual proliferation. And it is the scientific side that would say, obviously, we can't do that experiment. That would be stupid. And that conclusion would not be able to be justified, even if a majority of people report that they think something better happened. We would need to materially verify that those things actually happened and that their understanding of why they happened. This is why there have been big studies done, like the the very famous one. I'm forgetting the name of it right now. But atheists love to quote it because when it comes to prayer, literally, they actually found out in a hospital, if you are praying for people and nobody knows they're being prayed for, their outcomes are the same. If you pray for people and you tell one group they're being prayed for, their outcomes get worse. Weirdly, knowing before you were prayed for in this study actually made your outcome worse. So at best, you can say prayer does nothing, and then telling people you're being prayed for may make their outlook worse, as they may feel worse about the fact that they are still so sick and so many people are keeping track of it. The studies that have been done on a larger scale that can be performed by actual scientists do not support that prayer is successful.
Name one.
I just did.
Name the study.
Sure, I will look it up for you, since you're pretending that you know of a single study and you literally came in and thought a study would be one person doing it. What was the name of the prayer study that showed knowing?
I was establishing what you were saying there, and I know that one is not sufficient.
Knowing that
do it a few times. Report back, say, hey man, this didn't work.
Improve outcomes.
But at least you're showing,
that
you're.
I'm currently Googling at the same time, and my focus doesn't split like that. So whatever rant you're going off on the side is not being heard. It is called the STEP trial, the study of therapeutic effects on intercessory prayer. It is published in 2006 in the American Heart Journal. So you asked me to name it. You're welcome to go look it up now and read that, as well as, by the way, this isn't the only prayer study. Can you name a single prayer study period? Just name a prayer study.
You want me to look one up too, just like you did?
No. I don't want you to look one up. I proved I knew of one. I couldn't remember the name of it.
You just looked it up.
Excuse me. I looked up the name of it. I told you, Brian.
I know of one.
I told you. Going to mute you since you're still trying to talk over me. I literally told you the study. Other people think I was thinking of the Templeton study. I told you about what the study showed and said I can't remember the name of it right now. So you, in turn, have called in saying I should do a one-person study. That would be insufficient. And I think are totally unaware of anything that has to do with being studied. So meet at least that standard. And I'll look it up for you and tell you what the name is. What is one of the names? What is one of the types of studies that happen? You tell me what happened in the study and what the conclusion was, and I'll find the name where the study indicated that prayer was useful and successful.
Let's see here.
Nope, you're Googling.
J.S. Road.
See, you're Googling. You can't do that. Brian, you just proved my point.
Like you did. Who cares?
No, you aren't reading it just like I did. I'm muting you again. You aren't reading it just like I did, because I didn't read it in the first place. I told you about the study and then looked up the name. I didn't go Google looking for my arguments. I knew my argument ahead of time. I just forgot the title. Just forgot the name. You are sitting here finding out live, and this was the point. Not whether those studies exist, they probably do. There are probably studies that do claim prayer works. However, they are going to be fundamentally flawed because the Templeton study is considered the best one so far. But we can look into them and everything. The point was actually that you're sitting here acting like there's some scientific process that you support, and we're totally unaware before this moment of any study that already existed. That was the point. But I'm the one who engages in bad faith as he's trying to rewrite the history of this call. Brian, go ahead.
No, you want to hear my study, or do you not want to hear?
It's not your study because you just found it right now. You weren't aware of it before 6 seconds ago. So no, I don't. I do not care to debate with Google. I can do that by myself. Whatever you're able to search and find right now, we're not on Facebook. I'm not going to battle your links and hope that you can understand as you're trying to skim and read these things live. You need to come in with a robust understanding of the studies, even if you forget the name, before you name them.
You didn't know the name, and you don't. Come on, just be real. Have some humility.
Again, this is such a deeply unserious person.
Right. Brian's literally trying to claim, even though I laid out what the foundings of the study was, because I didn't know the name, I must have just been luckily guessing that study existed.
Well, the 2024 centering prayer randomized
Nope,
trial.
I'm not arguing with. Nope, I'm not arguing with a study that you were not familiar with before this moment. Period. I am not letting you go to Google. You can call back when you understand, because we're not on fucking Facebook. We're not doing a battle of the links. I'm not going to say you are going to use points that you actually understand and be able to pull from, and not have to go when I do a follow-up question. Okay, let me read here now. Let me go figure out now. That's not you debating. That's me debating your poor ability to filter Google's suggestions.
You looked up the name. I looked up the name. That's it.
You did not know the study before you looked up the name.
Yes, I did. And
no, you didn't.
You studied the name of your study, so who cares?
I didn't know the name. I knew the study. No, you didn't. All right, I'm done with your dishonest ass. Call back when you actually understand the study and can debate on it. Everybody saw what happened here. No one gives a shit. Let's see if Jeffrey's back on. We'll give that one to Jovan. Jeffrey, you are on the line. First of all, Jeffrey, are you actually here? Can you hear us this time? Luthen, did you try to see if you could talk to Jeffrey?
I tried. He couldn't hear me.
So he's just been on hold this whole time? All right. I'm going to go. What is that, Luthen? What is the thing about the next caller wants to use not Lee and La as their pronouns?
He tried, and then he said it was for the purpose of an argument. So.
But those aren't pronouns. Those are the word the in Spanish.
He said something about it being a pronoun in French.
I think there's still the word the in French, but we'll find out. All right.
Are we speaking French?
Yeah, we're also not speaking French. Jesse in Canada, you're on the line with Jimmy and Jovan. Jesse, we have a lot of people watching live right now, about 1,500 for this debate. When they're in chat talking about you, should they refer to you as a he, a him, a they, or something else? Or he, she, they, or something else?
Yeah, him is cool.
Excellent, Jesse. All right, I leave you with Jovan. I got to pee anyway.
Oh, okay. What's up, Jesse? What are you here arguing about?
I would like to know why I shouldn't credit capitalism for my treaty rates.
Why should you credit capitalism?
Why should I not credit capitalism for my treaty rates?
Why, if you're crediting it, why are you crediting it? How would I know why you shouldn't do something? Tell me why you are doing the thing.
Because of capitalism is why I have treaty rights.
Okay, that was a great non-answer, Jesse. Do you have an actual answer, though? Like, you're being very vague.
Okay,
what treaty? Where?
Okay.
How did capitalism give you this treaty? Right?
All right, I'm First Nations from Canada, and we have what's called treaty rights. And we have treaty rights to education, to healthcare. We have hunting rights, so we have gun rights. We have the right to hunt and everything like that. And we get these in return for sharing our lands with Canada. So there is a trade there. We shared our lands, and we got the Crown or Canada to share their healthcare, their education, and giving us quote unquote sovereignty. They're not really respecting that at the moment, but in a way they are, because we have Section 35 in our Constitution.
Hold on, Jesse. So you want to know why you shouldn't count capitalism for your treaty rights, even though you just said the capitalists aren't really respecting the treaty that much?
No, they're not capitalists. They're colonialists.
Colonialism is just a byproduct of capitalism. Colonialism is at its core. What do you think capitalism is, Jesse?
Capitalism is the trade of value between two equal entities. They're trading property. Each of them are trading property. In return, they gain a profit from that trade.
No, because barter can still exist, and that's not a capitalist system. So, like, capitalism is just the privatized ownership over the means of production, whether it be land, labor, capital, or technology. Land would be what the colonialists took. They privately took ownership over land. The reason why you lost land was because the capitalists took over private ownership of your land.
No, colonialists.
But yeah, no, we'll definitely
property, private
just
ownership.
Another form of capitalism.
They recognized Prince or
just another
Prince,
form of capitalism.
King George recognized our property rights to these lands.
You can have
which
you
is
can
why
have kings
which
and
is why
still
the crown, which is
wait,
why
wait,
the colonialists.
hold on, Jesse. You can have kings and still have capitalism, as long as there is private ownership. Like England has a king right now, or a queen right now, I think. Or no, they have a king now. They have a king right now. They still have capitalism. If there's privatized ownership over the means of production, you have capitalism. And what is more capitalist than
King
privately
George,
owning the land?
Hey. King George recognized First Nations property rights.
Jesse, was the land taken from them? Yes or no? No, the First Nations did not have any land stolen from them? No? You sure?
No. Yes.
You positive?
Yes.
Okay, that's what you want to claim.
Yeah, because we're sharing these lands.
Okay, kind of crazy to say that none of the land was stolen from them.
We're sharing these lands.
Interesting.
And in return, we ask the crown to share education, to share their healthcare, and to respect our sovereignty, which they are not doing. They're failing at that because they're not capitalists. They're not honoring the meal that has been made.
Hey, real quick. What about the large parts of British Columbia that were taken with no treaties? That land wasn't stolen, right?
Yeah, that's why there's legal disputes about that right now. Which
so the land was stolen.
Comes into play.
So the land was stolen, Jesse? You told me no land was stolen. Now you're telling me no, there was land stolen, and now there's legal disputes about it.
In a way, you could say that, but now there's legal disputes because we're taking.
In a way, you could say that, Jesse. Hold on, Jesse, stop. In a way, you could say that, or that's what happened.
It's unceded territory.
Jesse. In a way, you could say that, or is that what happened? Because it feels to me like you're just trying to weasel out of this. Great. No. Did they make the land privately owned, Jesse?
Did I miss something? Does Jesse not believe colonialists can be capitalists, even though they almost always are?
Correct.
Okay, got it.
No, colonialism.
I've already gone through the definition of capitalism.
What did you say? Colonialism is what?
Colonialism is not the same as capitalism.
Right, but they aren't exclusive from each other. Wait, Jesse, don't, no, Jesse, stop. Colonialism isn't the same as capitalism, but they aren't exclusive from each other. And almost all major colonialist powers through history have been capitalist. How are you not aware of this?
Jesse, I don't take Jesse seriously. He told me that no First Nations land was stolen from them. I don't take Jesse to be a serious
wait, you're in Canada. What?
Yeah, no. This is what Jesse said directly. And then when I told Jesse,
here's the thing.
When I told Jesse about the large parts, Jesse, it's not your turn to talk right now. Mute. It's not your turn to talk right now. Mute. And then when I told Jesse that there were large portions of British Columbia that were taken with no treaties, he's like, "Yeah, but now those places are in dispute."
All of Vancouver.
I said, so you mean there were things stolen? He goes, "Well, you could say that."
It's not even just parts of British Columbia. I think it's either all or all but a tiny little part was never ceded to Canada. Literally, there is no legal treaty, no anything that gave. Vancouver is a completely unceded part of that territory.
I don't even believe this person is actually First Nation. I have no reason to believe this.
It's hard to believe that they're if they are, they're quote unquote one of the good ones. Is how Fox News would refer to them.
No, I'm not a good one.
Well, we won't even talk about the amount of First Nation land that was given up because of the colonialists destroying they're like starving them until they just gave in and gave up land. But Jesse wouldn't call that stealing. Jesse would say that was perfectly fine because the capitalists signed treaties for them. So because the capitalists gave them treaties, capitalism. This is stupid, Jesse. This is deeply unserious. I hate to keep using that phrase today. Jesus Christ. Jesse, do I need to rewind the tape?
You just put words in my mouth.
Jesse, I'll rewind the tape. But if I have to rewind the tape,
I did not say that
Jesse,
starvation was
muted. If I have to rewind the tape, Jesse, and play you saying the shit I just said, you will owe me a $20 waste your time tax that you can super chat to Jimmy's channel for our profit share. So Jesse, if I need to rewind the tape,
rewind
because
to the point
Jesse,
where I
did you or did you not say? Jesse, did you or did you not say that there was no land stolen? Yes or no, Jesse? Exactly. You did say this.
Why is Jesse gone totally quiet? Wake up your phone, Jesse.
Please, this is so fucking stupid.
All right, my phone is awake.
You said no land was stolen, and that it's thanks to capitalism that you have the treaty rights, and that capitalism is the thing to thank. That's what you said, which means, Jesse, because no land was stolen, it means none of this starvation to get land out of the First Nations people, none of that happened, according to you.
No.
Right?
That's for you putting words in my mouth.
So was land stolen, Jesse, or was land not stolen?
The starvation happened in order for us to sign those treaties.
So was that land, Jesse, if I hold a gun to your head, Jesse, if I hold a gun to your head and I say, give me your wallet or else I'll kill you, did I steal from you or did I just try to coerce you into handing over your wallet?
I'm not going to answer that. I'm going to try and finish explaining myself here.
Because you're a fucking whiny little bitch. That's why. Because you're a sneezely, whiny little bitch who's trying to weasel his way out of the fucking conversation. You said, and I quote. It was going to expose
you. It was going to expose you.
You said, and I quote, no land was stolen, Jesse. You used the big N-O. No land was stolen. Now you're saying, well, they starved them until they gave up the land. But I guess that's not stealing, right, Jesse? So what is that? What would you call that?
That's you putting more words in my mouth.
What would you call it, Jesse? Would you call it stealing or no?
Can I explain myself, please?
I need you to say yes or no. Is it stealing from someone to starve them until they give you what you want?
If they got something out of the deal, then no.
Fuck off. Jimmy, you can talk to him if you want. Jesse can fucking hop on my dick for all I care.
So with the wallet thing, I say, give me your wallet, gun to your head, but I will give you my Tic Tacs. It's no longer a crime, right?
Give me your wallet, but I will give you back your driver's license. You'll get that at least, but I want the wallet.
I've had a 7-Eleven burrito in my pocket for 4 days. You do get that out of this interaction.
I will give me your wallet and all of your money, but I will at least buy you a cup of coffee with the wallet.
Did the treaties that you're describing as good, as the thing we're crediting for capitalism, disproportionately benefit the colonialists to the harm of those they were colonizing? Yes or no?
Sorry, repeat that.
Was the deal even or was it extremely unfair?
You got to dumb it down even more.
No, that's not it. I'm trying to think of a way to put all the nuance into a nice, sufficient three sentences, so that way you guys don't. No,
you'll get to do it after you answer. Was the deal even or extremely unfair?
It was a fair deal, and because it was a fair deal, First Nations got unfair treatment.
Because it was a fair deal, they got unfair treatment.
Jesse, give me your wallet.
Yes.
Jesse.
That's the dumbest shit I've heard all day. And you've said some dumb shit, but that takes the cake.
A wallet
Jesse,
and land.
Hang on, Jesse. Hang on. How much money's in your bank account?
A wallet and land are not comparable.
No, Jesse, how much money's in your bank account right now?
A wallet and land are not comparable.
Jesse, how much money's in your bank account right now?
Can I explain myself, please?
How much money is in your bank account right now?
I want to explain my argument.
Maybe in a minute, but you're not even engaging with the questions being asked of you. Jesse, how much money is in your bank account right now?
I don't know. I haven't checked.
Give me a ballpark. Estimate it.
Why is that relevant?
You'll find out. That's the next part. How much? Just give me an estimate.
I'll give you an estimate if you let me explain my position.
You'll kind of do whatever I tell you in the order I decide to, because it's my show and I can just bail whenever I want. So give me that estimate.
Jimmy, did you know the game was fair, and because of that, the players were cheated?
$20,000.
Okay, send me $20,000, or I'm going to bang your dad, but I will give you a burrito.
No.
Okay, well, the show will not go on until you send me the $20,000, all right? Thanks, Jesse. This is a fair deal. I offered you a burrito. It's a fair deal.
That's not.
Bye, Jesse. There's just no point in taking it
fair deal.
At a certain point, it's
and that's why they were treated unfairly.
Here's the weird thing. Here's where I'm conflicted. At a certain point, if that person isn't, or if that person is First Nations, I'm technically kind of racist for suggesting they're not, because they couldn't be or whatever. But also, if they aren't,
I don't care.
I'm racist for not cutting it off soon enough, because I feel it would be totally valid for a First Nations person to be like, that guy's clearly not actually First Nations. Why did you let him keep representing us that way when it was so obvious? And so I would like to point out, it isn't things that are obvious to brown people and non-white people are not obvious to me. And there's an obvious reason why. It's my face. And so please don't cancel me. Whatever path I chose wrong. Either way, that's what happened.
Homie said it is not theft,
right,
to starve someone until they give you what you want.
If they get something out of it. So all those people who died from starving, they didn't have their land stolen, by the way.
I need every woman on the planet to go nowhere near Jesse. Also, dude, I'm hitting such a major wall.
I'm getting
Jesse got me a little bit thing, but like, my God, I'm fucking broken out over here.
I'm getting a little bit there too. Let's see. Maybe, well, Jeffrey called back. Let's see if Jeffrey can lift our spirits. Luthien, also, if you'll check the that other call in there. But Jeffrey in Pennsylvania, do we have your audio this time? Hello, Jeffrey.
Hello.
We do.
You're not Jeffrey. That's a reference to an old meme. Jeffrey's pronouns he, him from Pennsylvania. Jeffrey, how old are you?
59.
59. You got 10 years from a fun birthday coming up. Then everybody just goes, nice. All right, Jeffrey, what's your point?
I was curious something that Jovan said. Wake up, Jovan. How you doing, buddy? Can you hear me?
Chilling.
All right, good. Yeah, you said you had a recurring dream, right? Could you refresh that for me? Because it's been so long now since you said that. You had this recurring nightmare of someone beating you in the head with a bag of glass.
When I was a child, when I was a kid, I had a few recurring nightmares. One of them was I would be playing out in my front lawn at dusk. And as it got dark out, like as it got darker, some dude would show up with a garbage bag filled with glass and start beating me with it. Clearly, as a kid, I was afraid of being out in the dark at night. It's pretty cut and dry dream interpretation there.
So do you think that your brain created that nightmare for yourself?
Yes, because I was afraid of being outside at the dark at night alone. So my brain created a scenario based around that fear. And then that became a recurring dream because it was something I was afraid of.
Okay,
How do you get to 59 and not already suspect that out of dreams? Sometimes I have dreams where I'll think, God, I really hope such and such doesn't happen. Cue such and such. You know what I mean? Like, that's how our dreams kind of work. It preys on expectations.
Wait till I tell you about the one where I was trapped in a Walmart full of bees.
Dreams are weird, and I've never made it to the final moment, if you know what I mean.
Is it possible, gentlemen, that fear can come from an actual, just like in our present reality that you guys consider, pretty much the natural world, everything we can see, and when we interact with each other, right? There's fearful people that inflict fear on other people. Is it possible that when those people die, their spirits can still have an influence over our spirits, which is the reason I called initially, was to say that I am a spirit, you are a spirit, Jimmy is a spirit, Jovan, you also are a spirit.
I'm not a spirit.
But we express our...
You do not have a career in cheerleading coming. That was awful.
Me?
I'm a spirit, you're a spirit, we're all spirits.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a dude.
Sorry,
Who's got spirit? I got spirit. How about you? Jeffrey, I don't... Your question, Jeffrey, you're like on your fourth paragraph after the question of changing. So the question is fundamentally, is it possible our spirits are affected by the death of other spirits? How would we know that when we don't even know if spirits exist? Therefore, we don't know if spirits are possible. And so without saying anything is impossible, literally no one knows if it's possible because no one has a good reason to believe that spirits exist in the first place.
Your mom's a spirit.
Well, I have a good reason.
No, you don't.
I have a good reason.
I bet you don't. Oh, I thought you would share it.
I am well, I'm a spirit expressing myself through my body.
I don't believe that's true. I don't believe that's true.
No.
I think you're a meat sack expressing yourself through your body.
I love, though, that we can just say we are things, and that makes us those things.
I'm a god.
I'm
whatever we believe,
the king of France.
Whatever we believe is what we say.
Okay, I believe we are meat sacks. We are sacks of bones and meats, and that we have a fatty organ in our head wherein which multiple brain functions happen, including the decisions on how and when to express ourselves. That's my belief. You said spirit. Huh?
Right. I acknowledge everything you said. You are all of that. I'm saying there's something deeper inside of you.
I'm saying there isn't.
The spirit.
And I'm saying there isn't.
I understand.
Great. So I showed you my evidence. My evidence is obvious. You already know. That's why you agreed to it. The evidence of my position is obvious. We can go and touch the meat. We can measure the brain. We can see where thoughts are happening. We can then go back home and touch the meat some more. Then we eat between touching the meat. Most of life is trying to touch the meat. But anyway, we can touch the meat. We can measure the meat. We can look at it. We can smell the meat. Not my favorite thing. And we can map out how these organs function. And there are things we still need to learn about the actual dynamics of it and come to a conclusion about where consciousness fundamentally exists, if that question is. But ultimately, there's no spirit in there. So that's where my belief lies. You've decided there is a spirit in there. So where is your evidence of the spirit?
It's right here in this conversation between you and I.
Nope.
Oh my God.
Let me ask you a question, Jimmy. Can I ask you a question, Jimmy?
I'm your dad.
Can I love?
Call me father.
I'm sorry.
And the evidence that I'm your father is right here in this conversation. Just saying words doesn't make things come together. That is as well supported as what you just said. So if you're going to speak to me, you address to me as father or dad is okay. Not daddy. That's creepy.
No, they're in no way congruous at all.
Yes, they are, Jeffrey, because you have zero evidence that the spirit is present in this conversation. But I am a man capable of fathering, so I'm at least physically capable of being a father. Maybe I'm capable of being your father.
My point was this, that you were talking about, I can touch this, I can touch that, and that's all of reality, right? And
I didn't say that. What did I say? Right? So, at least say what I said. What can I touch?
Meat.
The meat, all the meat.
Yeah, we're talking about touching meat, Jeffrey. I need you to say that out loud.
All right, I got him. How about touching meat?
Got him.
So check it out.
Meat.
The question for you, Jimmy, I have for you is, can I love you without touching your meat?
Yes.
Yeah, that is exactly my question. Can I love you without touching your meat?
Yes.
And how is that possible?
What is with the calls today?
Love is a function of the brain that doesn't require contact.
How is that possible?
Dopamine, oxytocin, and another number of neuron firings that build up essentially reactions and feelings to a certain individual that's associated largely with memory.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just not satisfied with all these answers, these apologetics that you guys give for.
Well, I wouldn't either, Jeffrey, because I can tell by your response that you don't even know what I just said.
Yeah, I heard you're talking about chemical things in the brain, right? You're talking
which
about
chemicals?
Things that we've discovered, the specific ones. I can't verbatim.
OxyContin, you almost had it.
The gist. Right. Well, I got the gist of what you're saying, which again is a spiritual part.
So Jeffrey, then why would I be remotely interested in hearing that you don't find that a compelling argument when it's not my argument? That is the textbooks. That's what has been evidence. That's what's been proven. And you're saying, that's not sufficient for me. I don't actually know it. I don't actually know how to make a pie, but you telling me how you make pies isn't sufficient for me. Go learn how to bake a fucking pie, dude. And then probably look up this stuff. I'd actually start with a literal pie. Don't take that as a metaphor.
Yeah. I'm not really interested in making pie, but I am interested in how is it we have understanding.
Bro will touch meat, but he won't dive into pie. That's the problem.
Ayo. I don't know what we're doing here, dude. Jeffrey, you literally can't give us any shred of evidence for anything you're saying. Like, what is the point?
I'm the evidence, Jovan. I'm the evidence.
Jeffrey, I'm going to make a claim. Jeffrey, I'm going to make a claim. Jeffrey, I'm going to make a claim. Ready? Okay. Here comes my claim.
Go ahead.
My claim. Clouds are made of Swiss cheese and meatballs.
Okay. And do you
prove me
believe
wrong? It's not that I believe it. It's true.
Because
it's not that I believe it. It's 100% true. It's absolutely true.
Well, for you. I think you're foolish for engaging in that.
Why? Why would I be foolish for engaging in that?
Because it doesn't match what we observe.
Oh, what differs from what we observe?
It's pretty obvious, Jovan. I mean, the whole point of you asking me that is just to show the absurdity of just saying something, and that's the only reason why you think it's true. That's not what I'm doing, but that's how you're characterized. You're characterized.
That's not how I'm characterizing it. That is how you're characterizing it.
Jeffrey, are trees gay?
At least the trees in my yard.
No, well, the evidence is the trees.
The evidence is the trees.
There's trees here. There's trees there. I got a tree in my yard. Do you have a tree in your yard?
Yeah, many. Why do I feel derailed? You're derailing me. Because
I'm using, as Jovan just said, the exact method of argument you're using. Trees are gay, and the evidence is the trees that I'm telling you are gay.
Ew.
If I'm not gay, why would I choose to stand next to something that basically represents one long dick covered with a bunch of other dicks? And these trees will stand right next to each other. The evidence that they're gay is right in front of your eyes. It's obvious.
Yeah.
Do trees get morning wood?
Saying, I think so. Yeah, they do. In the morning, they're wood. Yes. Are you still there?
What's the evidence we have spirits?
Like when I'm talking to you right now, when I'm talking to you and you're talking to me, this is the blatant evidence right in
our
so close.
How is it? How is it the evidence? How is it the evidence? Because I can explain the full process of us speaking to each other without invoking a spirit. So how do you explain us talking together that requires a spirit be invoked?
Your explanation is insufficient for the thing that I'm talking about.
Then give me your sufficient explanation that requires that our ability to talk to each other would not be possible were not a spirit present.
the evidence is the graveyard. When people die, do they still talk to you?
No.
What's gone from the body in a graveyard?
Nothing's gone from the body. I mean, it decomposes, but no, people do not talk to you after they die. People often don't talk to, a lot of what we perceive as communicating with people, even when they're alive, often isn't. A lot of that stuff is happening in our head and in our memories. So like me thinking about a dog that I love right now versus a dog that I loved that was dead, unless the living dog is here, is actually no different. Unless I'm actually interacting with the dog itself. You're just describing having memory. And again, having those memories tied to specific firing of specific neurons on specific neural pathways that cause a response of certain chemicals, including those chemicals responsible for love.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm just not satisfied with that
you don't understand that answer, so I wouldn't expect you to be satisfied with it. You're more satisfied with answers that are less complicated and one word. You like the explanation that is, it's our spirit. That's not an actual explanation, but it feels better because it's one word, and you kind of feel like, well, I've said it's why freaking Christians go one step further. They won't even go 2 syllables. Everything's God. They came up with 1 syllable. I'm surprised. Soon it's just going to be G. That way we can just have 1 letter. The explanation is G. Because we had to get simpler and simpler and simpler, and they mistake the fact that they can answer it in smaller amounts of time as a better answer. But it's not a better answer. But the trees are gay.
It's almost like, when Christ said that only God is good.
Christ never said that.
I'm truly gonna crash out.
Christ never said anything.
What is happening?
There was no Christ. There might have been a dude named Josh, essentially, but I have no reason to believe the Christ ever.
Joshua.
No reason.
Correct. No good reason.
I have no good reason.
Correct. To believe that Jesus Christ ever walked the earth? Absolutely. Christ is the title. You know that, right?
Yes.
So Yeshua might have walked the earth. Maybe. We don't actually have a good reason to definitively say he did and isn't just a combination of a bunch of other people's stories. But the Christ, no, there's no good reason to believe the Christ ever existed.
Are stories ever true, Jimmy? Are stories that Jovan?
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
No,
I gotta be so for real.
Just do it.
No,
hold
on. Before we do, I have to be so for real.
All right.
In my life,
go for real.
In the 5 years I've been doing this job, in the thousands of calls, I've never heard a response like, "Our story's real."
Yeah, no. I like it. I love it. And Jeffrey, yes, stories are sometimes true.
Thank you.
Okay, is that your whole point? Oh, so that's a good enough reason to believe the story of Jesus Christ is true? That's a good reason?
Yes.
Great. Jeffrey, how much money is in your bank account right now?
Less than $50, Jimmy.
Okay. What? So like $40?
No. Less than
$49, Jimmy.
Whatever it is, you're down to your very last dollar. Unfortunately, you're going to have to be destitute after this. The thing is, there's a guy going around your town right now punching grandmas in their vagina. And if you don't send me whatever every last penny you have is to PayPal right now, it's Jimmy A. Snow on PayPal, or I guess you can use Cash App, or you can just super chat. If you don't send me every penny you have, he's going to keep punching grandmas in their vagina. And surely you're a selfless person. And so you have a good reason to believe that that story is true, Jeffrey, because stories are sometimes true. Right? So that's a good reason to believe the story is true. So are you going to risk more grandma vages getting punched, or are you going to send me every last time you have?
No, I'm not a fool, so I'm not going to believe that story.
Okay, well, I'm not a fool, so I'm not going to believe in a magic man who came to Earth and the only way he could save us from himself and his own rules was by having the people he created do a terrible, disgusting display of human sacrifice. Oh, and by the way, while he's there, he doesn't mention a lot of the awful things that world has been doing, like slavery and shit in his name. He doesn't say like, hey guys, let's not have slaves. And by the way, let's not crucify people. You guys are going crazy with the crucifixions. I have to be crucified, so maybe me, one and done. But everybody else, let's stop with the crucifixions. I'm not a fool, so I don't believe in magic. And Jeffrey, I mean even in a young girl's heart.
So he came to save you from yourself, not from him.
I don't know why he was. I don't know what he was coming for, but allegedly he was dying to save me. From him and the things he'll do to me if I don't live up to his expectations when he built
my favorite part of God, Jimmy, is when God got mad at us, so he held a grudge, and then instead of just getting over that grudge, he said, "What if I tortured my son? What if instead of just getting over it, what if I brutally murdered my child? What if I impregnated a teenage girl and then brutally murdered her kid?"
You guys are capping right now.
It's my favorite thing God's ever done.
Capping. Shout out to Jared who just sent me $1.01 for no more vag punching. I hope that wasn't literally your last dollar. Nobody should do that. But you can send a super chat right now. I'll share that dollar with Jovan. Send a super chat in and
I'll get 60 cents on it.
Unfortunately, Jeffrey, the vag puncher's name is also Jeffrey. So send a super chat in right now with just the phrase "Stop Jeffrey" to show this caller how you'll put your faith in us, because stories can be true sometimes.
Actually, what if, Jimmy, what if, think about this. Just what if I was the most powerful being on the planet? And in order to forgive people, just to forgive them, what if I impregnated a teenager?
I'd be pretty upset about that. How old are you?
What if just pretend you're an angel and I'm God and I'm walking you through this plan right now.
Okay.
So hey, Angel of Jimiel. You know how I've been pissed off at like people for like the longest time because of what Adam
ever since Uptown Funk.
Yeah, I've been mad since they ate those fucking fruit. I was thinking I figured out a way to finally forgive them.
Got it.
There's this girl, Mary. She's like 14.
Right.
I was thinking about getting her pregnant.
Now, I can't remember. I've missed some birthdays. Are you 14?
Hear me out.
Okay.
I just think,
right,
if she was pregnant,
right,
I could then have a son.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I know, like, you're my son, but I mean, like, a son that I love. Right. I can have a son in whom I love.
No, I've gone to therapy. I've worked through this. Yeah, I got you.
And I could take that son and get the humans to brutally torture and murder him.
Okay, so we took away your Instagram for this reason, and I'm wondering how you got it back.
Just hear me out.
Okay.
Hear me out.
Here's where it'll get
this
redeemed.
way. Okay. This way, they learn to be kind to each other.
Okay, so the murder, and then so you're gonna rape a kid, and you're gonna murder.
Well, hold on. She said it was okay. I talked to her. She said she was okay with it. She said she was cool.
14. Though.
She isn't gonna tell anybody.
Okay. Do I have to deliver the news to her?
Yes. You'll also need to make sure that there's a star that's lit on the day the kid is born, and then these 3 old guys are gonna just randomly show up to a they're gonna be in a barn.
Right.
He's gonna be born in a barn.
So I don't love it, but we're angels, so we are colonialist capitalists. I could be talked into it for a little bit of
more like
manna
devils.
from heaven, if you will.
Not like angels, more like devils.
Jeffrey, what did I say that didn't happen according to the Bible?
It was a bunch of foolish mockery and shameful.
What did I say that didn't happen?
We're just getting
let's
started.
Let's go through.
How
old was Mary?
irrelevant. I don't engage in ridiculous.
Irrelevant to what?
I
think it's pretty relevant.
This whole.
Why couldn't God pick an adult? Why did he specifically seek out a teenager? Then why did Jesus fall in love with somebody with the same name as his mom? You think it was like that scene from Batman v Superman? Like he was Mary. He was like, "What's your name?" And she said Mary, and he's like, "Say that name again. Why did you say that name?" Do you think it was like that when Jesus met Mary Magdalene?
Were there even other girl names at that time? Were they all Marys?
Why does he have a desire? Why does he have a desire to come and bring you out of darkness, Jovan?
He definitely had a desire to come at something.
That's a good question, Jeffrey. I would counter that question with, why does he have a desire to handle so many men's feet? That's a part of the book. That's in the book. That's not made up.
Why was Jesus found alone in the Garden of Gethsemane with a naked child?
Trying to drag you both out of darkness.
Jeffrey, why was Jesus Jeffrey, why was Jesus found alone in the Garden of Gethsemane with a naked boy? The only other person in the Garden of Gethsemane was a naked boy.
Shameful.
It was Jesus.
You're shameful.
You want to bet? How much you want to bet me? How much you want to bet me? Put $20 on it right now. I'll read you the verse. Put $20 on it right now. I'll read you the verse. Put $20 on it right now. Put $20 on it right now, boy. You said your account was under 40. It could be above 60. Put $20 on it right now.
I don't love money like you.
We know you have less than $40 in your bank account. Clearly you don't love money.
Thank you.
Don't be a capitalist too, Jeffrey. Don't tell me you're a capitalist.
Shit.
Jimmy.
Yeah. How many times does the word Jesus appear in the Epstein files? Did I stump you, Jeffrey?
Thankful you guys.
Yeah. Well, you decided you weren't going to like actually participate and do everything on your terms. And at a certain point, my goodness, do I love to roast a Christ. But I wouldn't hang him on a bit of wood. Thank you to Just Wrench, Funny Soprano, Darren, Foxy Illuminata, Flibberty Giblets, Liquidy Shid, Misty Nipples with the big one, Michaela, and Arcane, all of which, there's a couple more, Rob and another Michaela, all of which have super chatted in the hopes that you will stop punching old ladies in the vagina. Jeffrey, will you please stop punching old ladies in the vagina?
God certainly won't.
I'm not doing that.
Will you give me a number? How many more super chats do we need to get you to stop punching old ladies in the vagina? A number, please.
That is a false charge, sir.
Okay, how many legitimate credit card charges to super chats would do it?
That is a false accusation.
Maybe 12?
Hey, real quick, Jeffrey.
Yes, Jovan, go ahead. Go ahead, bud.
If your dad impregnated your mom as a teenager, and then on the night that he tells you he wants to kill you, you're alone with a naked boy. That doesn't look like too great for you, right?
That scenario just sounds bugged out. So I'm not even going to really...
Mark 14.
I don't...
A certain young man was following him wearing nothing but a linen cloth. They caught hold of him, but he left the linen cloth and ran off naked.
So when you read that, that's what you see, huh? That's what you see?
I mean, that's what the words say.
Uh-huh.
You want to know my evidence? My evidence are the words are right there.
Hey,
stories are real, right?
Jeffrey, if I put up a 15-minute timer for 10 super chats, of $5 or higher, you'll stop hitting old ladies in the vagina? Just say anything if you agree.
I'm not hitting old ladies in the vagina. That's a false charge.
Thank you. He did agree. He agreed. I said, say anything if you agree. So y'all, you got that goal up there right now. It's up there. 10 super chats of $5 or more in the next 15 minutes. Jeffrey will stop hitting them old gals V's.
Don't waste your money, people.
My favorite part was when God...
Thank you so much for saying that. Jeffrey told you all to not do that. I just want to make sure that's on the record. Jeffrey does not want you to do those super chats. Don't do it, guys, at Jeffrey's request. Thank you so much, Jeffrey.
Jeffrey, did you also like the part? Did you also like the part of the Bible where God told Moses to take all those child sex slaves? Because
shame
was that great? Did you like that part?
You guys will never
where the Israelites showed up and Moses was like, "Why do you have boys here? Kill all of those babies."
You'll never put God in the dock. You won't put God in the dock. It won't work. Your arms are too short.
I won't put God in the dock. I'll write a doc right now. I'll write a Google Doc right now and put the word God on it.
Take him to court.
Jeffrey,
you can't take him to court.
Jeffrey, why don't you accept the commandment? Why don't you accept the New Testament commandment to be ready to defend your faith and actually respond to these things? We're asking you about specific verses, and the New Testament and Timothy commands you to be ready to defend it. Why?
I'm ready.
Okay.
I don't think you've read the Bible, Jeffrey.
Go ahead,
What's your
Jovan?
favorite Bible verse?
I have.
2 Corinthians.
What's your favorite? What's your favorite?
Hebrews chapter 13, verse 1. It says Philadelphia Mino in the Greek. Philadelphia Mino. You know what that means in English?
I know you're from Pennsylvania, which means your favorite verse isn't from reading the Bible. You saw it on the side of the fucking subway.
No, it's in the Bible. Philadelphia Mino.
Yes, I know it's in the Bible, but that's not how you got it. You saw it on a fucking subway in Philly.
That's another lie. Another lie that you're telling on me.
Okay.
Yeah. So 13:1, Philadelphia Mino is Lord of all. Thank you, Lord. And 13:1 says, let brotherly love continue. One of my favorite verses in the Bible. Okay, next question.
You want to know what's even funnier? Want to know what's even funnier? There's a Plato manuscript, or I think it's Socrates, actually. I can't remember if it's Socrates or Plato who wrote it. I think it's all of Plato's dialogue is from Socrates, if that's how I'm remembering correct. Called Philadelphia Mino, which is about a little slave boy.
Oof. That's rough, Jeffrey. Hey, Jeffrey, do you have that Bible on you?
No way.
You got that Bible on you?
It's on my phone.
By the way, Philadelphia Mino sounds like what an Italian says when he's going on vacation. Where are you headed for vacation? Philadelphia Mino. Anyway, cool. Let's read some verses. Will you read some verses to us if we tell you where to go? Since you shared your favorite one, why don't you go read Psalms 137:9?
All right. Well, give me a moment. I'm in my phone here. Okay. You said it's in Psalms, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you said? Okay. Psalm. Which one?
137:9. 137:9.
37, verse 9.
And before you read it, do you endorse what it says?
I'm sure I do, so I'll just read it.
Okay, good. Go ahead.
I'll just read it. Happy shall he be who takes and dashes your little ones against the rock.
Right, so and you endorse that, you said, right?
I mean, that's what it says. What do you mean endorse? I mean,
well, it's basically talking about the children of people that the Lord considers enemies, that the people who kill those children by smashing them against the rocks.
I read the verse right before it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Daughter of Babylon, doomed to destruction. He will be happy who repays you as you have done to us.
Right. So the punishment for the daughter. Wait. So the daughter of Babylon. What is the repayment for the daughter of Babylon?
Takes and dashes your little ones against the rock.
Right. So this woman, the justice for the woman isn't even killing her. It's killing her little ones. You know, the fairest justice system. If I come out and I kill Jovan, or rather, I harm Jovan. I don't know why I'm invoking Jovan. I go out and I commit a terrible crime.
I mean,
the right thing to do is to kill my children for doing so.
So God,
hey, Jiminiel, do you endorse all of my actions? I'm the Lord again. That's a question to you, Jiminial.
Me?
Who's that?
Yeah, you're the angel Jiminial, remember?
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, I'm crazy about it. Fucking like, and ever since your son got those hand holes, we are busy up here.
Hey, Jeffrey, could you now read a different verse for me?
Sure. What is it?
Okay, let me just
Is it gonna be Deuteronomy 21:11? Because that's what I was hoping it was gonna be.
Oh, you want to do? I was gonna do Leviticus 25, 44, 46. No, that's my favorite.
We got time. We can do both.
All right. Can you read Leviticus, please? Leviticus 25, 44 to 46. And you do endorse this, right? You do endorse Leviticus.
44 says, "As for your male and your female slaves, whom you may have from the nations that are around you, from them you may buy male and female slaves. Moreover, of the children of the aliens who live among you, of them you may buy, and of their families who are with you, which they have conceived in your land, and they will be your property." Verse 46. How long am I? You may make them an inheritance for your children after you to hold.
I got always started to ask how long he should go, and then thought going longer would help his case. It's getting worse for you, bud.
You may take your slaves forever, but over your brothers, the children of Israel, you shall not rule one over another with harshness.
So then, per God, do I have to wait for Jimmy to denounce his U.S. citizenship before I make him my slave?
Per God, you can't make Jimmy your slave. He never gave you that endorsement or commandment to do that.
Sorry.
He said to serve Jimmy.
What did that verse just say?
And look,
I'm sorry. What did that verse just say? Sorry.
That verse doesn't apply.
Sometimes I can't read remember the things I just read.
That verse doesn't apply
to you or me.
Why would that verse not apply to you and me?
We did hit the goal, just so you know. So, Jeffrey, you do have to stop hitting old ladies in the vagina.
Yeah, please stop doing that now, Jeffrey. Okay.
Are you an Israelite, Jovan?
Yes, I'm a black Israelite.
All right. So you're gonna go and do that?
So yes, as
the Lord commandeth, under His eye, my friend.
He also told the Israel to repent and to believe in Christ.
He's told them a lot of things. Hey, could you flip a couple of pages for me and go to Deuteronomy 22? By the way, which version of the Bible are you reading?
World
sounds like
English
King James.
Bible.
World English?
That's World English Bible, yeah. Deuteronomy what?
22. I'll give you the verse once you get there.
All right, 22.
And then verses 28 and 29, if you would.
28. If a man finds a lady who is a virgin, who is not pledged to be married, grabs her and lies with her, and they are found, then the man who lay with her shall give to the lady's father 50 shekels of silver. She shall be his wife, because he has humbled her. He may not put her away all his days.
What does that phrase mean? What is that? A woman who is not pledged to be married, which specifically means isn't not just to anybody, but to the person being spoken about, and grabs her and lies with her. If there was one word to describe what they're describing right there, what are they talking about? By the way, it's the one the other versions of the Bible use. They just say it, several of them.
He's having sex with her against her will. He's just grabbing her.
What's one word for having sex with her against her will?
Rape. We call it
okay,
rape.
And so if you have a woman who isn't currently promised to a man, you're allowed to rape her as long as you got 50 shekels, right?
There's a consequence for raping someone.
Do you feel that's a just consequence? Do you feel that your God's justice of 50 silver shekels To the father, by the way, not to the woman, because keep in mind, the consequence is to the man. The consequence to the woman is now
how much is 50
she
shekels?
must be married to her rapist.
Right, I understand. And how much is 50 shekels in our money today? Like if somebody raped somebody today, I had to give them 50 shekels. How much would that be?
And so, to be clear, you believe the answer to that question will matter. Let's say it's $100. Would that be just?
What if it's $1 million? No, that's 100,000. What if it's 100,000? Let's just say that.
So you believe that? So to be clear, I rape a woman. I give her dad $100,000, and my rape victim is now required to be my wife. You believe the $100,000 make that totally?
You got to take. You're responsible for that woman now. You have to take care of her as if she is your wife, with all the responsibilities that comes with.
Yep, Jeffrey, we're the problem. You got it. We're the demons. We're the ones who will justify the evil thing. That's us. That is us. So you all heard it here. Jeffrey, who is no longer going to punch old lady vaginas, believes that
false charge.
believes that $100,000 should be. So based on that, do you believe that America should change the law to be more like God's perfect law? And if a man rapes a woman who isn't planned to be married to somebody else, that man pays.
The spirit of God's law is very high, way higher than our minds are so low and carnal.
Jeffrey, the question I'm asking you is, should we make that a law? You said $100,000 would work. If in America, if I rape a woman, if I give the father $100,000, his daughter becomes my wife. You're good with that?
Spirit of God's law should be embraced by American law.
Jeffrey, if somebody raped you, would it be justice if somebody else got the money to pay for it? Like somebody comes and they rapes you, and then somebody's like, nah, it's cool. I gave somebody else $100,000, so Jeffrey is fine now. Is that true? Or would justice need to be served to you in some way?
All justice needs to be served unless there's grace from God, which thankfully there is.
So when a woman is raped and she doesn't get the $100,000 and she's forced to marry her rapist, has she been served justice like this verse suggests?
No, not at all. That verse.
That's what the verse says.
Because the verse says compensation. You just described where there's no compensation after getting
What's her
raped.
compensation?
That's what you described.
What's her compensation?
What it says, we just read it in the verse you pointed out.
To be wait. So if I okay, great. All right. Jeffrey, I'm going to make a law. If you get raped, your compensation will be you have to marry your rapist and he has to take care of you for the rest of your days. That sound good?
No, it doesn't sound good at all. No.
But you're cool with women having that be their remedy because that's what the Bible says.
I'm not cool with anyone. I'm not cool with anyone being raped at all.
Well, for free. You're not cool with anyone being raped for free. You said God's law is perfect and just and everything. So you're not cool with anyone being raped nobody gets paid.
We're unjust. It's us. We're the evil, wicked ones.
Bro, I don't know. I'd say the God that says, I don't know. I'd say the God that says if you get raped, you have to marry your rapist if he pays your dad enough money. I'd say that's probably the unjust guy.
At this point, I feel like we're just playing with our food.
Better than what we do. We don't do anything. The rapist gets away. The rapist gets away down here.
Great.
In fact, we protect the rapist down here, right?
We make him president.
Better. You like that better, right?
God also protects rapists literally every day.
Who'd you
Why
vote
does
for,
God
Jeffrey?
protect rapists? That's what I want to know.
Who'd you vote for in 2024?
You're shameful. I didn't vote in 2024.
Well, then you did not work then you did not work against electing the known rapist. Well done, Jeffrey. You have a good day, Jeffrey. Thank you for committing to stopping punching lady vaginas. See you, bud. I'm glad that we were able to at least get them old lady V's safe.
Crazy call. I fully have hit a wall. TBH. it's.
You don't think you can make the 22?
I don't know, dude. I'm struggling right now to fucking even speak.
I want to transfer the audience, so if you want, you can go and I'll just solo this last call, but I want to make sure we give Skep talk. Since we only have 22 minutes left, I think I can make it through. But if you need to go.
All right. I'm like feeling, I don't know if you can hear it in my voice either. I'm feeling just like everything.
You've been sick, man. Yeah, you've been
like
going through
bad.
it.
Like the pain in my chest has me really contemplating if I should go to the ER.
Yeah, I don't fuck with chest pain, man. I know it's probably from your cough, but usually it's better to go than not.
I think it's from the cough.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I wake up tomorrow and it's still there, I'll probably go to the urgent
Inside
care
of your left arm's good? You're not feeling like a...
Yeah, no, it's literally, it's here, but what sucks is it hurts when I lay down.
Yeah.
Like, it hurts so much.
Straining.
So I'm like having to sleep in my like recliner because it hurts to literally lay in my bed. Have you ever gotten
evaluated for sleep apnea? Because if you get bronchitis and sleep apnea together, it fucking sucks.
I used to be a CPAP technician.
Yeah.
I don't need to go get evaluated. I know for sure I have sleep apnea. And I have a machine. I have one that I took for my old job that my old boss gave me. So I have
you got to get the new equipment and stuff. You know that if you have it bad, you can die.
Oh me.
You don't start treating
Again, I was a CPAP technician for like 2 years. I know all there is to know. But like when I tell you, I have plenty of equipment. All right.
What I'm saying is you need to know what your burden is, though. Because if you're having more than... I was literally having like events each minute, not even like a few an hour. I was having them every minute.
The new machines are all automatic.
Yeah.
So you just set it to the lowest and then the top range, and it'll do all the work for you.
Oh, if you're saying you're going to put on the machine anyway, because you know, for sure, put on the machine.
I for sure not. I don't need to go get evaluated. I know exactly.
You know, it's not hard to do now. You can get a little thing that you wear like a ring.
Again,
you don't even have to go to a place.
Was a CPAP technician for years.
I know
everything you're telling me. I know already.
Brad, things change. I don't know how long ago that was. I've got
literally right before I
have
went
the
full time
ring
doing
and
this.
I have the wristband ring to check on it myself periodically. And I already know I have apnea. Right now I actually have it low enough since the weight loss to not have to wear a machine at night.
Yeah, I'm sure once I start dropping weight off, it'll get a little better. But yeah, I'm gonna go before I die.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here, let me redirect
definitely go to the doctor.
Too.
Just go anyway to get prednisone, man. Shit'll make you feel better fast. Prednisone, so good when you have bronchitis.
I got bronchitis.
It's corticosteroid.
I'm sending my audience to you.
Thanks, man. All right. Feel better.
Amen.
Dearest, you can solo me. There we go. All right. Let's bring in this last call here. Benjamin in Washington. Benjamin in Washington, you are on the line with Just Jimmy. Benjamin's pronouns are he, him. How are you, Benjamin?
Able to hear me okay?
You sound a bit muffled, like you're talking through a pillow.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to step into a better spot in my house to see if my service is better.
Okay. It's gotten a little better so far. What are you calling in on?
So, I'm just talking about, I guess, Christianity in general. I used to be just like you guys, ragging hard on Christianity, being atheist. I even feel like I had a harder reason to turn my back on it than most people. But
I don't think you need a hard reason to turn. I think the best reason to turn back on Christianity is that it's not true.
I mean, you can feel that way, man, but
isn't that the best reason to not believe in anything?
I don't know, man. How many times have you been near-death experience in your life?
Are you talking about I've had personally a near-death experience, or I have?
Yeah, just like you personally.
Once. I'd say once. I got very close to death once.
Okay, and it scared the shit out of you, right?
No, I wasn't really conscious for much of it. I wasn't experiencing things like fear. I was so sick and close to death that it was just kind of a state of suffering. If anything, if you had asked me if I wanted to pull the plug during periods of that time, I probably would have been like, let's just get this the fuck over with.
Yeah. Now that you're looking with that with like hindsight, did it like freak you out at all, make you a little scared like you got that close to death?
No, Not more so than before. Not that specifically. My anxiety about death has much more to do with just the normal 4.5 billion years of evolution toward you should try to stay alive because death is the end.
Okay. So you are going with the, like, kind of Matthew McConaughey from True Detective, like, we're doomed to our programming and we just kind of follow our ways, but, you know, we live for certain, like, roadblock or, like, road markers, even though not everyone really goes for that. Like, you want to live, you want to exist, maybe reproduce, maybe try to find a way to be, like, remembered, maybe not. Maybe you want to fall away to obscurity. That's okay. I'm not here to choose your life for you, but all I'm saying is, like,
I don't think I would summarize any of how I feel in the ways you've just told me is the summary of how I feel.
Okay, that's fine. I'm not going to speak for you.
You literally just tried to speak for me. You just spoke for me, and so I'm telling you the way you spoke for me was wrong.
Okay, I apologize for that.
I don't care. That's all good. I'm going to cut in. I'm not feeling insulted.
All right. But let's just say, like, at the end of all of it, and you do die, and it turns out you were wrong and God does exist.
Yeah.
Statistically, what's it hurt just to put, like, a couple eggs in the basket and at the end of the road be like, hey, man, if it's cool with you and I, like, cool with me, maybe we can work something out.
You think that's what I would say to God?
Yeah, like, why not? Maybe you're at the end of your ropes. Maybe you're a little nervous of what comes next. Maybe. Who knows what happens?
No, I never.
Down the road.
Well, you invoked earlier that I wouldn't know how I was going to feel when I faced death in the face. That was me talking about when I got extremely close to death. If we're talking about, like, quick things, like almost got in a bad accident, or shorter things where it's like, hey, the status of this health stuff could be, we don't know how it's going to go, and you should be considering. I've faced those things of, like, we're literally, I still have health issues. My partner and I started working on our death plan recently of, like, I don't think it's going to anytime soon, but if it happened, here's, like, the people you contact first and all that kind of stuff. And I have to have that in place a little bit more pressing than other people. So when I consider you're kind of doing the, like, no atheists in foxholes, like, what if you get close to the end and you decide you want to go with God? Okay, well, first of all, which God? Why would that God be that? And then you're like, what if you find out you're wrong after you die? What if you find out after you die you're wrong, and the only God that would accept you is the God that you didn't believe in because he purposefully hid good evidence, and he basically went, if you still ended up believing in a God, you failed because the point was to not believe in God. Like, if my grandma had wheels, she'd be a bike. What are we doing with these hypotheticals? They're pointless.
I don't know. Is it all of it, though? Like, you,
what do you mean isn't all of it? Is all of what pointless?
Just everything, then. If there's
from the perspective of what or who?
Well, do you have belief in anything, I guess is what I'm wondering.
I accept many things as true, yes.
Okay, now what does that actually mean?
That I accept, or even believe, if you want to go with some things, that certain facts are reflective in whole or in part of reality.
Okay. And what would be an example of that?
Evolution.
Okay, so you believe in evolution. I
accept evolution. Evolution's a demonstrative fact.
Okay, it is. You can't argue evolution. You can't argue that the Earth is millions of years old.
Well, yes, you can. We do it on the show all the time. You can't be right and say it's not true. You can't say evolution is not true and be correct. You can't say that the Earth is young and be correct. You can argue anything. I could argue that my grandma is a bike.
The Earth is flat. You can argue that, like, there's a giant spaghetti monster in the sky. You're right. You can argue anything.
Sure.
But let's just say I also agree with you that evolution is just a constant fact. We see it all the time. You can literally take a cat from somewhere down south, throw it in the north, and if it has enough generations, you can watch it actually evolve real time to survive in the cold.
Well, not one cat.
No, but you know what I mean. If you threw a family of cats up into the north and told them,
please, let's do more metaphors of the things I've already said I accept. Right?
All right.
So what point are we getting to, my dude? We're like, where can we get somewhere with this call? I feel like I'm the one who has a fever now. Where is this going?
I guess I'm going is like, what are you attempting to do? What is the whole point of these conversations? You're the guy who's going to end Christianity. You're the guy who's going to stop 2,000 years of faith. What is the point of these arguments?
You got it, Benjamin. I think I'm the guy. I think that like when I will in my lifetime just end it all.
Well, what
a weird fucking framing. Here's what I know. I have helped people deconstruct from beliefs that are bad, that were harming them, and have harmed from others. So you know what, Benjamin? If that only ever happened to, I already know it's in the thousands now, but even if it wasn't, if it was only if it was only at 100, I would go, you know what? That 100 people I helped was worth it. I don't need it to be all of Christianity, just like I don't think I'm going to pick the next president, but I am going to try and participate in a culture that gets us a better president than we had before. What the fuck is this weird framing where you're like, so what is even the point? If all of Christianity and Islam and the Abrahamic religions don't come down as a result of me going to work, why would I even go to work? What's even the point? Because all the fucking people I have helped, fuck those people. They're not everyone.
Holy shit, man. Like you're sitting there acting like you've done some great justice in your life by arguing Christianity, something that's 2,000 years old with millions of people clinging onto it. The fuck is the point of any of this argument? That something's going to come of it?
You still don't know my answer, even though I just laid it out?
Your answer is kind of horseshit. You're like, man.
My answer is horseshit because I helped people. The point is,
Christianity is wrong.
The point is that I will help as many people as I can help, and I will make the world better than it would have been if I hadn't been in it. Maybe not better than when I found it. That might be possible.
What is this help that you're providing?
Disillusioning people from
this fucking conclusion on their own without
Benjamin. Hey, Benjamin.
Hey, Benjamin.
Benjamin.
Yeah, I just
I need you. Hey, Benjamin. I'm going to need you to take a breath. You're being very hormonal right now. I need you to calm down. Get the emotions in check here. Okay, so we're going to come with what's the point? How is it helping or whatever? People come to the conclusion on their own. I agree. Whenever a person calls in and they say, I wanted to call you because you made me an atheist. I always say, no, I didn't. You made yourself an atheist, but I'm glad to have been part of your journey, because people don't come to that conclusion without the face of challenge and without access to information. So if there was only the Bible, there would be more Christians, but there's lots of books and resources and people who challenge the Bible, so there are less Christians. One of those resources is me. I am a small cog in that, admittedly, but I don't care because it's satisfactory enough for me to be a key part in some number of people's journey and a minor part in other people's journeys, and to agitate the people who are evil and harming people and exposing those people as harmful and evil. And if you can't understand how I get more sense of purpose out of that than what would have been prescripted for me, be born, go to college, and become an accountant, I don't know what the fuck to do for you, Benjamin. Realistically, what I think is happening here, Benjamin, is that you are very insecure. And realistically, here's going to be the most egotistical thing I'm going to say. I get the vibes from you that you think you should be where I am, but you know you couldn't. You couldn't do what I do, and you couldn't have the size of impact that I have. And I don't even think I have that big of one. But because you feel that your life is meaningless and you've been put into the remedial cogs of a terrible capitalist society who is only interested for your labor to be exploited, be born, labor, exploit, die, that you have resentment toward the people who apparently have broken free of having to do that, and that they're saying that they are trying to do it for good reasons, that they are out here virtue signaling. Legitimately, Benjamin, I don't think that you actually feel like there isn't important work being done. I legitimately believe that most of your problem that you have, that you are yelling about and getting so emotional about, is fundamentally jealousy. That you are jealous that I have what you think you deserve and you think you couldn't achieve even if you worked hard to do so. Hit a little close to home?
No. Well, no. I'll let you have that because I don't think I can convince you otherwise. But honestly, man, at the end of the day, I'm not jealous. And I'll let you know that. And just like you got upset for me speaking for you, I'm not going to get upset, man. You can make your calls. You can judge, man. I don't truly hate you or even despise what you're doing. I just don't understand it. As a person who just sits here every day and goes, why does there have to be the argument? You say you're getting the information out to people. Everyone who gets your info is holding a phone or a computer or a screen in their hand that gives them all the same info.
Hey, Benjamin, guess what? Benjamin, that's a terrible argument. Do you want to know why? I hope more of me come out. You're saying that information is somewhere. I fucking agree. But what is the event that intercepts a person and presents them that information? And in your world, the only time a person would find that information would be when they suddenly become curious about it, when they're willing to question it, and then they go searching for it through a system that may be difficult to find that information. You might notice that you're not just talking to Jimmy Snow, the person who does the call-in shows. You're talking to the guy whose main job is to platform other people. Because I own this channel and The Line. We have something like 25 hosts with 40 hours. I'm not even joking. That is, if our shows don't go long, we do 40 hours of content a week, which is 40 hours of chances to expose information to people. And those are the moments for some people. So literally, I'm not even just making it about myself. I'm making it about more people presenting the information, so there are more opportunities for it to get in front of people. And if at the end of the day, there's one less Mormon than there would have been had I not been alive, I feel that's already tremendous, since I already know in the first half of my life, I convinced people to be Mormons, which I will feel like I am atoning for the remainder of my life, despite the fact that the actual scale is a couple of people either became Mormons or stronger Mormons because of me, and a great many more people, you don't get to interrupt me, you don't get to interrupt me, Benjamin, but a great many more people, you don't get to interrupt me. I will tell you when it's your time to talk, Benjamin, and you'll get to it as soon as I finish the sentence. You don't decide when I stop talking. I will feel as though I am always atoning, even though the scale of good I have done against the Mormon Church is way higher than what I did for it. And yet I will always feel like it is unbalanced. Again, this job has a purpose. It gives me a sense of purpose, and I like it more than going and being a fucking accountant. Benji, I'm sorry for whatever you did in your life that you feel like nothing has meaning and there's no reason to bring information to the people and just wait for them to get it, as though that wouldn't leave them with all of the propaganda forces that exist in the world unchallenged. Because that is one of the most important things we do, is in live in real time respond to the counter propaganda that is in a constant state of update. And people aren't that curious that they're going through or have the time to go through and figure out everything they need to evaluate and go and read and find out whether it is propaganda or not. And again, you not being able to see that value is your problem, very much not mine. I will unmute you now and you may ask your question.
No. All right, man. I didn't know that you used to be Mormon, and I kind of get where you're coming from. So okay. I will actually backpedal.
Wild that you called in with these criticisms and not know the background and the reason why. Did you know I own The Line also, and that most of my programming doesn't even feature me on it?
No, I was doom scrolling and I got to the part where you guys were yelling at the dude about vagina punching someone. And I just felt like this was such a devolved whatever the fuck it was that I lost my own mind hearing it.
Well, I suggested the future before you try to summarize and assume. I hope you learned a lesson today. I will say you came in on peak content. I don't know why that was your problem. That call was a gem. But yeah, man, before you call in and tell people that essentially their life and the purpose of their life and the things they're doing are useless on the basis of one vagina puncher call, bro, I don't know. I'd do a little. I would do. So you describing hard. How well people can do research themselves because they have a phone in their hands. You failed to do the research you should have before calling in to tone police me.
Because it was such a devolved shit show, man. It was wild.
Okay, so you have your excuses for why you don't do your research, as does every other Christian that we're trying to call out.
I'm not Christian, man.
That's not what I said. Perhaps you are drunk. I don't know.
No, you said like every other Christian who called.
I said
that group
you have your excuses for why you didn't do your research for calling. I'll change it to just like every Christian who calls in. All that you were calling out that everyone can do this research. They have the phone in their hand, and you didn't do research while calling in confidently to try and tone police and change. I guess what were you hoping you were going to talk me into that this whole thing is purposefulness and I would just quit? You did it. I'm done. I quit. No more the line, guys. It's over. It's all done. Go cancel your Patreon. Bruh, I don't know what to tell you, Benjamin.
I'm thinking what I'm trying to get through is
last thought at 7:00. We gotta go.
You can point out the worst parts of Christianity, but anyone can point out the worst parts of everything, man. Like, what are the good parts of Christianity? The parts that
nothing.
You
They're great.
Enjoy.
So Benji, I am back on Tuesday, and you can call in with that. I'm going to tell you in advance the short version because it is 7. We got to go. There is nothing good from Christianity that you need to keep Christianity to have, but there is lots of bad that is contingent on the continuing and ongoing existence of Christianity. The removal of Christianity from this world would be a net positive.
I don't think so. I don't know, man.
Great. Well, Tuesday. What time's our show on Tuesday? I just told you we got to go. What time's our show on Tuesday, Luthien? I'm blanking on. Is it 8:30? 8:30 p.m. Central. You can call then, or Thursday at 5 p.m. Central, and then we're back at the same time next Tuesday. We'll discuss it then. You have a good one, Benjamin.
Jimmy. Bye.
Yep. All right. Go check out the Sunday show After Dark with Forrest and Eric of Skeptics and Scoundrels. That is starting now. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Kind of thought it was